Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Smoke one spliff while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Smoke one spliff while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. Smoke one spliff while you're waiting for Jeran. Smoke one spliff, get high to the rhythm. waiting for Jared. Jared. We waiting for Jared.
All right, wait no more. Wait no more. I'm here. I have arrived. However, I am no longer the #1 most beloved flat earther. I held that title for years, but have given it up. However, I did take over as the new world's #1 former flat earther. Basically, it was me or Ranty or Ratchy, I guess. So I win. I welcome you all to episode number 2 of the coolest show in the history of the web. That is Jeranism Friday Unplugged. Are you ready? It is January 17th, 2025. It is 3 p.m. Pacific. It's 6 Eastern. And it's time for Friday Unplugged. And the title is Why the Path of the Sun Should Be the End of Flat Earth. So let's start with the chat real quick and say hello to some of you. And let's see how the poll turned out. I did ask a question. In your opinion, let's see what we got here. Let's bring this up. And let's bring this up. Hello, everybody. Hello. Oops, my camera's not filling the whole screen. Let's move that up a little bit and fix that. Thank you. We're good now. So the question was, which best describes Jaren in your opinion? Shill, sell out. Just very wrong. Undecided. I'm going to hear him out. And 100% correct. All right. Well, we got 100% correct at 46%. We've got undecided at 35%. We've got just very wrong at 6%. And shill, sell out at 13%. All right. Well, that's not too bad. I expected different results, so we'll take that. That's a win in the win column. So that is the, see who else is here. We've got Dave Smith. Hey, Ted Sommers in the house. What's up? We've got MXXXD. All right, nice. Luca. What's up, Luca? Man, I don't recognize any of the names. Can you imagine? The people that used to watch me are no longer here. Imagine that. But I guess that's what happens, huh? So, have we found the elusive curvature? Well, we'll talk about that tonight. Don't you worry. We got a few things coming up. First, I want to show you. Let me see if there's anybody else there. Hey, Tiffany, how's it going? Nice to see you. There's somebody who's watched me before, who's still here. Thank you. Appreciate that. What did you expect to see from the poll? I expected to see more shill sellout or just very wrong. So it's actually good. But then again, is this my audience? I don't even know. I don't recognize a lot of these names. Don't recognize. Don't recognize. Don't recognize. Dave McKeegan was here. Where'd he go? Jeranism new fans. Awesome. Well, glad you guys are here. It is the most difficult thing that I've ever had to deal with. So we're going to deal with it head on. That's what we're going to do. Let me start with a couple of things that I want to show you. First, let's go with some links just so you guys can get these down. And I did forget to put one on the screen as well, like a dumbass. If you're trying to reach me, t.me/Jeranism. Again, that's the best way to reach me personally. I will get back to you. It may take a couple days. VIPs obviously get put into a separate folder and they get priority, but anybody can reach out to that way if they want. t.me/Jeranism. Also, t.me/Gerants is Jerants. Just a place for me to kind of sound off, which I guess is picking up because I've seen people take that and then make videos about it. So obviously people are seeing it. Again, if you want to follow me on there, t.me/Gerants. If you are looking for links, like if I'm in the show and I show something on the screen, what I do at the end of the show is usually move everything to t.me/Jeranism links. So this way you can follow up with anything that I said. Okay. And we've got t.me/Jeranism chat is a free-for-all. It's kind of messy in there. Usually Globers in there. Usually a lot of name calling and, Jew bashing and just what you name it. It's all in there. That's t.me/Jeranism chat. And then if you want to become a VIP, wap.com/Jeranism. That is a cool group. We do crypto class every first Friday of the month, and we do a VIP only hangout the first and third Saturday. So that is coming up this week, if I believe. Yes, tomorrow. So I don't have any member of the community to join me, so it's going to be just me. So if you want to be able to ask me questions for 3 hours, become a VIP. Go to wap.com/Jeranism. Let me make sure it is the third week. I'm sure it is, but I just want to make sure, check the calendar, make sure I'm not screwing something up. What are we at? We are at the third Saturday. Yes. So it is a VIP hangout tomorrow. That'll be at 12 noon. Check the VIP in Telegram and you will see the link. And then that's basically it. And then the one thing I forgot, you should be subscribed to my show notification channel, which is t.me/Jeranism show. And you can leave notifications turned on that one. because I only send out an alert when I'm going live. So would have got one 2 hours earlier today telling you that I'd be live at 3. So that is that. All right. Make sure we got that. So let me show you the, let's see, is that what we're doing next here? It's the best way to keep tabs on me. Yes. Let's see what's on tap for today, shall we? We shall. Let me bring that up. We've got an agenda, believe it or not. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Okay, we're going to start out with an opening Gerant. I got something to say, so we'll talk about that. We will then find out who is the Dirtball of the Week. I don't have a sound effect for that, but if somebody wants to make one, it's like, Dirtball of the Week. And then, make some sound. I don't know, like what I got. I don't have any sound. That doesn't work. Come on, something better than that, Enrique. What are you doing? Terrible. This one's good. How about Dirtball of the Week? You're the best around. No one's a dirtball quite like you, yeah. Yeah. No one's as big as a dirtball is you. It's the best around. Okay. So, and then we've got these following questions that will be answered in this program, in this D program, if you will. Number 1, was the trip fake? Was it fake in any way? We will then answer number 2. Am I under a contract with Will Duffy? Number 3, have I been paid off or compromised? Number 4, what's wrong with the AE map? Number 5, what about Shane's model, Joe Hanby's model, Alonzo's model? Number 6, what about another map? Number 7, isn't the sun apparent? And then number 8, so what's your conclusion? And then after that, we will deal with some super chats or whatever is there as far as that goes. If you want to support the show, please do so. You can use Cash App. Let me bring up this over here. There we go. There we go. Kind of. Is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. So you'll see Cash App on the bottom left of the screen, $Jeranism. You also can use Ko-fi if you want, ko-fi.com/Jeranism. Sound bueno? I think so. I think so indeed. All right, so I wanted to start out real quick with just, well, I guess we got to do the intro, don't we? Do we have to do the intro? Yes, we do. So, welcome to the show. It is January, what did I say, 17th. And it's time for Jeranism Friday Unplugged. Let's get it. Boom.
F you to the stress, to the grind, F you to the haters. Every time F you to the drama, to the hype, F you to the mainstream, pushing lies. Unplugged from the majors. It's Friday night, unplugged with Mr. Honest and sometimes right. F you to the left, to the right, and F you to the elite parasite. F you to the noise, F you to the fakes, F you to all you weak snowflakes. Friday unplugged, unfiltered and real. Are you offended? How you feel? F you to the sleep, F you to the woke, to the trolls in the chat, you're an effing joke. F you to the sleep, F you to the woke, to the trolls in the chat, you're an effing joke. This ain't a trap house, but your mind's getting drugged. Time for Jeranism Friday Unplugged. This ain't a trap house, but your mind's getting drugged. Time for Jeranism Friday Unplugged.
Mr. Always honest, sometimes right, sometimes quite wrong. Quite wrong sometimes. But the only thing that matters is, do we end up right? That's the question. So every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific, join me right here for Jeranism Friday Unplugged. And we should have some fun. I believe so. All right, let me start with a little bit of a rant, but I've got one little issue here. This is not showing correctly. It should be on the other thumbnail, and I lost it. Okay, 1 second. We are not doing well. We are missing a thumbnail. Where is that image? I just have a regular image. It's this one's on the screen, but I don't have it anymore. Shoot. Yeah, that'll work. Let's go with that one. There we go. All right, let's transition that over. And there we go. Okay. So a Gerant, what is that exactly? Well, it's a rant, but with J-E in front of it because of, my name and stuff. We got Rhino who says, cheers to thinking men who can deal with uncomfortable truths in the face of new evidence. Yeah, and it's very difficult. Let me tell you, I've gotten a lot of messages, so many messages this week, and it's kind of all over the board. I've got some people that are claiming their life is over. Some people telling me I've left my wife or my husband, and now I don't know what to do with myself. That's not easy to listen to. We've got people who have said that they respect me for being honest and that they are no longer going to pursue Flat Earth because of this. And I've got people who say that they'll never give up Flat Earth, that it is the truth, and that anything I'm saying I was definitely fooled or drugged or they give me a bunch of different things, that there's some sort of deception that I wasn't able to see or something like that. So, it's up to each individual person. I've kind of seen everything, and it's difficult because the people that I would call family, obviously are now very upset at me. I get it. I do. But I wanted to go over that tonight and explain why I've had to make the decision I have. So let's just go through a rant here a little bit and see what you guys think. So, it's time for basically a heart-to-heart, me trying to break it down for you, making it easy for you, because I got some things to say. So you're looking at somebody who spent a decade in the Flat Earth community. 10 years of YouTube videos, of forum arguments, of late night talks, debates, and more discussions on perspective than any sane person should ever go through. So I was in it deep. I believe that you should listen to me, because if anybody knows Flat Earth, it's me. Okay. And I wasn't just drinking the Kool-Aid. I was making it. I was bottling it. I was selling it at conspiracy conventions, at Flat Earth conferences, at Flattoberfests. So fast forward to last month, December 14th, there I was, hopping on a plane to Antarctica, the big icy no-go zone, where I told people that you couldn't go, and without some sort of EPA assessment, little did I know that there's these travel agencies that have the assessment already done, so you don't have to do it. And there was no protected order. There was just a camp that many people have been to and many people go to. So, of course, I had my GoPro on my chest thinking that, okay, I'll just take as much video as I can. But I wanted to see for myself, and this is something that I hope people grasp from this, is that we can do science without needing to adhere to what people tell us, right? So what the elite tell us, or what the mainstream tells us. The conclusions I've come to without any of that help. Okay. So I saw the 24-hour sun, the sun, big, bright, circling around in a way that makes flat Earth models look like a joke. And I'll explain that throughout tonight. Let me tell you that watching the sun loop around the sky for a full day, or actually what ended up being 3 or 4, was like watching my flat Earth credibility shrivel up and die in real time. It was humbling. It was shocking. And honestly, it was also a little kind of funny, because right away I started thinking about all the years of calling globeheads. And there I am in Antarctica, face palming like, oh shit. Now, you'd think that the Flat Earth community, my friends, right? My supposed brothers and sisters in truth, would appreciate the effort I went through to document this, but spoiler alert, they didn't. Nope, they didn't at all. They came for me faster than you've ever seen before. You faked the trip, you're a sellout. That wasn't Antarctica, you were in Greenland, you were somewhere else, he's been compromised. Right, yes. I did say that you would know if I was compromised if I came back saying that we went to the moon, or that we were spinning, because I said that those things would not be determined by this trip. So anyway, I've already answered one of the questions on the agenda. But let me just tell you that the betrayal does hurt. These are people I've stood beside digitally for years, people I defended with their ideas, were even if their ideas were laughable, people I supported when the world mocked us. And now they've thrown me under the bus like I'm yesterday's meme. So it's like, hey, I'm not the enemy here. I know you guys think that I am. I know many people already put me in that category. I just took a field trip to the bottom of a map, and I didn't join the Illuminati, in case you thought that. But here's the kicker, that the deception in this community is right now off the charts. Okay? I didn't notice it. I didn't fully see it until I stepped away. And we've got echo chambers that are just insane. Anything that challenges the narrative is either ignored, ridiculed, or labeled as a psyop. It's not about truth anymore. And I'm wondering if truthers really actually want the truth. That's the position I'm in, where I'm thinking, well, geez, these guys are truthers. Wouldn't they want the truth? But what I've learned is people want the truth that matches their belief system, not the truth if it goes against it. So if that's the standard, if it's not about truth anymore, if it's about loyalty or it's about a religion or dogma, then count me out. Okay? I don't regret my time as a flat earther. I never will. It taught me to question the mainstream, to think critically, to never trust Neil deGrasse Tyson and his bullshit. And same thing with, what's the other guy's? Dawkins and his evolution nonsense. It did teach me that. But what I do regret is how far I let it go without questioning the people around me and the self-appointed leaders, if you will, or the dodgy research, the constant goalpost moving. It's exhausting, and I'm done with it. So, yeah, there I was in Antarctica, GoPro, and the 24-hour sun. Keeping it real. The truth is out there for us to find, but there's a lot of BS as well, right? And if being honest gets me labeled as a shill, well, then slap a shill tag on me, and I'll wear it proudly. Because at the end of the day, I'd rather be hated for telling the truth than loved for pushing a lie. And that's what I think is going on in this community right now. What people want is they like the lie. They want the lie. They want to be told that the sun's apparent. They want to be told that it's a holographic 3D reflection or something. Why do they say that? Why do we say the sun's apparent? It's because if it's a physical sun, good night, flat earth. Okay? Good night, Irene. So, before you throw all these tomatoes at me, I know that they'll be coming like crazy. The 24-hour sun didn't prove anything, by the way, because honestly, we know that proofs depend on models, and I don't believe that science can offer proof. They can just answer which claim best matches reality. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Which claim best matches reality. But because it challenged me, it forced me to reevaluate what I thought I knew. And isn't that what brought us all here in the first place? A willingness to question and to grow. So I feel that many of us may have been stuck. Maybe the flat earth seems like a carousel. Remember, you get on a horse and you go round and round and round and round. That's what it seems like flat earth has done, right? For 10 years. Have we gotten anywhere? Have we done anything? So anyway, just wanted to make sure that you guys were on the same page with me. And we're going to get into now the crux of the show, but I did want to start out with a new segment, which has no sound yet, but it will soon, I promise you. And it is the segment of Dirtball of the Week.
You're the best around.
Fucking dirtballs. Anyway, yes, many dirtballs exist. They are everywhere. You look. Always performing some dirtball activity. Often they don't even realize how dirtball they are. You may be sitting next to one right now, so please help them change before they become the Dirtball of the Week. Anybody have any guesses of who the Dirtball of the Week is? It should be easy. Dirtball of the Week is Arctic Reflections. Am I a dirtbag? He has a book there that he's, yes, you are. I don't pay my bets, it says. Yes, you notice that? Arctic Reflections doesn't pay his bets. He owes me $500 and still has not paid. And let me explain something, how nice I am as a guy, okay? Very first thing that happened was I made a public bet, $500 to anybody who would take that Dear Moon would go on a trip around the moon in 2023, okay? This guy shows up and says, I accept your bet. I do think they'll go in 2023. Great. He accepts the bet. A couple days later, he comes back and says, you know what? Now I looked into it, and I don't accept your bet. Okay, that's allowed. Okay, just so you guys know in the audience, if you ever say I accept your bet, the bet is accepted. You don't get to then go look into the bet. That's your job before you accept the bet. Anyway, because I'm a nice guy, I let him get away with him saying, but I do think they'll leave in 2024. I said, okay, I'll give you 2024 as well. So that's very nice of me, letting him go with 2024. So when Dear Moon canceled their trip in June, now anybody who's ever known any betting, known any gambling at all, if the 49ers don't make the Super Bowl, sorry, let's say you bet the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, but they don't make the playoffs, you should pay the bet then. You don't get to say, well, I'm going to wait till after the Super Bowl. Be like, what do you mean they can't win? Well, the same thing happened here with Dear Moon. He made the bet. They canceled in June. Okay. You can just bring that up here. I'll show you real quick. Let's go with, you can just see that they canceled their trip in June, said, no, we're not going after all. And so you would think that I would get paid in June, right? No. This dirtball decided to say, no, I'm not paying you till the end of December because our bet said that they could go through the end of 2024. And I said, what are you talking about, dirtbag? That you owe me the bet already. So I got tired of being an asshole to him. But you can see here, Dear Moon, notice of cancellation, 2018. Arrangements were made, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, however, launch within 2023 became unfeasible, and without a clear schedule, certainly in the near term, it is with heavy heart that Mazewa made the unavoidable decision to cancel the project. Okay, so you'd think that he would have already paid me. No, he didn't. And this was June 1st, 2024. So he's owed me since then. Now, technically, if you're a gambler, you know that you should be able to add 10% every week. The guy probably owes me 8, 9, 10, $1,000 now at this point. I don't even know. So, Arctic Reflections. Pay your bets. $ Jeranism, a Cash App, or you can do PayPal if you want. PayPal.me/endlessj. Those are the two ways to pay me, and it should have been done in June. And you're a dirtball. Okay. If you don't like that word, we can think of other words to call you. I don't know what other words you like, but we can think of probably quite a few. Just anybody can think of any. I could think of probably 1,000 words that you should be called because you don't pay your bets. Now, granted, I came from a Catholic family, Italian family, and I don't know why I put Catholic in there. It actually hurts my next point, which was that my grandpa used to tell me, if people mess with you, let me know and I'll talk to cousin Jimmy. It's like, okay. But if you don't pay your bets, usually they break your arms and shit. And so you should just pay your bets. And if you waited and said, I'm going to wait till the end of the Super Bowl to pay you, you'll probably get your arm broken for that too. But luckily, I'm not that kind of person. But anyway, it could be dirtbag, dirtball, scumbag, I don't know, low life, cheapskate, penny pincher, tightwad, flake, mooch, con artist, snake, weasel, loser, fraud, deadbeat, trickster, slacker, crook, hustler, swindler, skimmer, bum, freeloader. I mean, we could go on and on. There's tons of words for people who don't pay their bets, and you are them, and congratulations on being the first ever Dirtball of the week.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
It's going to be hard not to keep that as the sound effect for that. So what's going on here? Reading the chat real quick. Will you review the Tychos? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means there. Okay, I can't follow along. All right, so let's get on with the show. We're going to look at the real quick the agenda and see where we're at here. Where have we gone? We are already past the rant. We are past the Dirtball of the week. We are on to, was the trip fake? And the answer is, of course, no. Anybody who has any kind of research skills at all, and this is very damaging to the flat earth, and I can't even imagine anybody staying and being a subscriber of these people who can't get off of it. The King Nikos, who needs to get the shit out of his mouth before he talks. The Flatzoids, the Sovs, whoever else is, the Dustin Nemos. I mean, these guys are ridiculous at this point. Because all you need to do is go to my channel itself and follow along till you see my chest cam footage, plus all the live streams we did live from Antarctica. Okay. And then I want to show you this real quick, if you haven't seen this, because everybody says, where's the camp? You can't find the camp. You don't know where the camp is. Wait, what is this? Oh, shoot. Hold on. I got to change. This is on 3D. Why is that on 3D? Playback. Turn off 3D. Shoot, where is that video? Where do you turn off 3D? 360. That's what I mean, 360. Disable. All right, now we're better. All right, so I want to show you this, just so you can see. This is the, of course, drone footage from Duffy. And you'll see, turn down the volume there. So you'll see here, this is the camp. Notice over here, this is where we stayed. This is the tents. This is where you saw me walking around the first time. And then I'm just going to fast forward to the end just so you can see as this drone is coming down, because everybody was very confused of where is the secondary camp? Why can't we see the original camp? Does that mean there's a curvature? There's not enough curve in the distance? It's like nobody said it's the curve of the earth blocking it. Do you realize that this ice can be stacked up and pushed off to the side and create a little mound? So you'll see here as we get down lower, this is how far away we were. So it's not too far. It's about a mile or two. And now you'll notice it go behind that blockage there. See that? And now we're not even all the way low where people would stand. There we go. So this is why from here you can't see the camp. Now, that's been a bone of contention. Will everybody admit that they were wrong? Probably not. Also, I wanted to show you something here, that if you notice this U here, okay, so this is on a path. This is like on there's a loop of, I think, 10 kilometers. Halfway in the loop is this little cutout, but you'll notice that there's like this track, okay, that was cleaned for us. It was raked. It was, I don't know what you call it, prepped. And so when you see people saying, oh, their footprints don't show up, it's because those people were walking on the part that was prepped, and it gets like these little, it's like corduroy, but it gets frozen. So you're not going to make footprints in that. However, in the snow that got pushed to the side or the clumped up snow, you do make footprints. So just another debunk of the nonsense. But again, just to show you this final thing so you can see. And we've already debunked 2 of their major points. There you go. There goes the camp. And nobody's saying this is the curvature of the earth blocking it. It is just stacked higher. It's that simple. Get over it. There you go. And that is Duffy's drone that went up about 5,000 feet. Okay, so that's, and again, you know, this part here, I heard somebody saying something about this gray. That's just the ice. Okay, that's just the ice. And I remember even asking Toon, like, what is it? Why does it turn gray like that? It's just the way it looks to your eyes, I guess. But it kind of like gets really flat, as you can see. And just kind of goes off in the distance, kind of looks gray. See the mountains in the background. Now, we're going to go over here. Let me see. Is it here? Yes. I'm going to show you this. I just want to show you just where you can see, because in case people don't remember, if you didn't know, we went live, and I believe I was the first one to go live. So remember that. First one ever to go live from Antarctica. I don't know if that's true, but I'm claiming it. So just deal with it and claim it as well. Support me on that if you would. Let me show you here. We're going to go to live, and we're going to bring that up for you. That's not where we want to go. YouTube. There we go. So we are looking at live, or my live tab. And many people don't even know the live tab exists. If you just go to home or videos, you're going to be missing the live streams. So we got these. Now you'll notice that back here, we've got us in Punta Arenas. Okay. So this is, and I forgot the date. It would be probably the 11th or 12th. Okay. And then we had us in Punta Arenas the next night, which would have been like the 12th or 13th. Punta Arenas again. Okay. And that was the 3 times we're in Punta Arenas. You can tell where we are. We can tell that we're in Punta Arenas.
Hey, everyone.
You excited about tomorrow?
So you can tell that we're in Punta Arenas, that we're at you can go look at Google Earth and see this spot. Very easy to see. We were doing a dual live stream, trying that at least. But you can see where this spot is. So you'll know that we were in Punta Arenas the day before Antarctica. Now, let me go back. And then we were in Antarctica the next day, the 14th. Now, if you
So
think
each one has its own name. I don't know what tent I'm in yet.
if you think this is fake, you are out of these people are ridiculous. Look at us walking around in Antarctica. It's baffling to me that these people who call themselves researchers are going to continue on this line of research when I'm telling you there's nothing there. Everything about the trip was 100% factual. 100%. Have I lied to you before? Have you caught me lying? Okay. Now, of course, there'll be people out there that claim that they have because they need to, but you have not. I don't have a reason to lie to you. I would never lie to the human race. I would never lie to people who have supported me for all these years. We just wouldn't do it. But this is clearly in Union Glacier. And this is me showing you where the plane landed, where the glacier was, where the mountain is. And this is real. This is us in Antarctica. So I don't know how anybody can question whether or not we were there. And then they start bringing up the studio nonsense. It's like, what do you mean a studio? So so then there's a studio in Antarctica? That doesn't make any sense. A studio in Antarctica so what happens? This sun sets and everybody who works there, wouldn't we have seen it set on any of the other days? If I went into the studio to film the 24 hours circling sun, then what about every other day we were there? The sun stays above the horizon, period. Okay? If you go to the next one, where we have Antarctica, this is now the next day. This is me coming out as the sun is now here, which is about south. It's a little bit, needs to come over a little bit more to be south. But that's a problem. Right here is a problem. Okay, let me show you this. That is a very big problem. That sun is that high, and this is south. Okay, maybe this is south right about here, but pretty close. And it's going to keep coming that way. And we just finished our time lapses as we are finishing up here. But anyway, that is another, this is from the camp that we just showed you, right? You saw that? From the drone went up from here. The camp is over here behind this hill. Okay, so we did another live stream. Then we do another live stream, which is this one, where I'm doing some sunspot observations with, I believe Dave McKeegan comes up in a second here or something. I forgot what happened here. Yes, I think so. And then we're doing sunspot observations. There we go. And McKeegan's with me. And then we get summoned that we have to go to the airplane. We're going to take a little flight. So this also shows, again, that we are back at the main camp. And then we did one more. So I did 4 live streams from Union Glacier. Here we go. And this is us. I don't remember what we were. Oh, is this? Oh, no, I was going to say, I thought it was when I was biking. But this was just a goodbye. It was right before we left, which, again, people claiming we left on a different day than we said. No, we didn't. We were scheduled to leave on the 18th, and we were told on the 16th that we'd be leaving on the 17th, and we had to have our bags packed and everything ready by 9 a.m. So it's not even a day that we were there, really. We were leaving that day. So it really cut the trip quite short. I would be upset if it wasn't for the fact that I didn't pay for it. Thank you, Mr. Duffy. But otherwise, it is what it is. And there you go. So from these, just that's not looking at anything Dave McKeegan has put out, anything Toon has put out, anything Austin's put out, anything Lisbeth has put out. That's just looking at my material. You have to understand that the trip was real. And if you can't come to that conclusion, then you shouldn't be researching. You shouldn't be talking. You shouldn't be having a YouTube channel and giving people just terrible. Now, here's the thing. People always say, oh, Jaron, but this, you would be doing the same thing. To a certain point, I agree with you. But we're not talking about the NASA moon landing where there was one camera, okay, and one place that you could go and view it. This is not that. This is many people doing many different live streams. Much, much different. And I find it embarrassing that you guys can't see the difference between an India moon landing video and this. So have we completely lost our ability to have any discernment? I believe that we have. I believe that you have. There's just no way that after all this evidence, watching me in Punta Arenas, you could use our GPS tracker, see where we were. We were down in Antarctica, period. Get over it. Let's move on. But no, we still got people thinking it's hilarious to do vape gate and shoe print gate, and it's just, it makes you guys look horrendous. Okay. So anyway, just wanted to get through that. So the answer to the first question on our wonderful list is, if I can find it, there we go. The answer is, was the trip fake? No. Was it in any way? No. Were we to sign any NDAs or any, no, there's nothing like that at all. Okay. Nothing like that at all. Now, I believe that people wanted to know, I heard people saying, oh, but Jaron's under contract with Will Duffy. And of course, then I saw people sharing it and saying, oh, he's under contract. He's under, do people even know what they're talking about? Okay. Let me bring up this real quick. I want to show you the contract. It's not under contract. What we did is we wrote a contract so that we could, hold on one second. I just want to make sure I have the right one. I don't want to grab one that wasn't, hold on one second. Where did I go? Okay, we're going to go here instead. Hold on. Let me grab this one and this one. Let's see, files. It should be in here. Okay. So, yeah, this is the, with final signatures. All right, let me grab this. File, save that. I'm going to post it for you on t.me/Jeranism links, but I wanted to show you here. Let's bring up this and go. Okay, so I'm just showing you the contract that was signed by Austin and I. We've already read this, but it's not under contract. It's just a contract dated 9/12. Basically says sponsor intends to sponsor a trip to Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions, Antarctic Odyssey. Nothing crazy here. Whereas participants have agreed to join the trip for the primary purpose of conducting scientific and observational investigations. That's what we did. Sponsorship. Sponsor agrees to cover all reasonable expenses. He did. Participants' obligations. We agreed to actively participate in the trip and cooperate in all reasonable communications and requirements related to the trip. We did that. No financial liability. I didn't have any liability. If something would have happened, it wouldn't have been on me unless I just bailed. Full disclosure of attendees. Will Duffy shall disclose to the participants all individuals he knows will be attending the trip. He did that. Media rights agreement. Participants and Will Duffy and the participants shall maintain final editing and approval rights, which we still have, of any media that contains their audio-video captured during the trip, except in cases where their presence is incidental, such as background shots or 360-degree footage, right? So when you have your 360 cameras up there, like we've seen, well, obviously, I knew that I was being recorded. So watch your mouth, whatever. All media from the trip containing identifiable audio and video of the participants, except for inadvertent appearances, requires written approval. Everybody had to adhere to ALE guidelines. They did. Legal recourse, you don't need to worry about that since nothing happened. And this is the part that I think people should pay attention to. This is why I felt comfortable going, that the sponsor certifies that no hidden, deceptive, or undisclosed elements are involved in the trip. The sponsor affirms that no material information has been withheld. All verbal agreements between the sponsor and the participants are fully incorporated into this document. Participants are entered into this contract with the understanding that all relevant details have been fully and accurately disclosed. They were, and any additional information will be communicated immediately. Failure to disclose any known or relevant details constitutes grounds for breach of contract. Medical interventions, vaccination, just said that we weren't going to be vaccinated. We would not sign a non-disclosure agreement, and release of liability with exception. And that's it. And then we've got our signatures on there. Well, there's mine. But anyway, so for people saying I'm under contract with Will Duffy, I don't know what you mean. You mean did I sign a contract with Will Duffy? Yes, this contract protected us from things that we were fearful of. So that will be placed into t.me/Jeranism links. Let me see here. Where is this? So save. Sponsorship agreement with finalized signatures. Forward. Okay, just making sure I put it there before I forget, because it's not one of my. There we go. Jeranism links. So again, t.me/Jeranism links if you want to see that. We are going to hide that and save. Okay, and send. All right, that's there for you. Let's go on to the next step of our list. We've got now number 1 is answered. Number 2 is answered. Number 3. Have I been paid off or compromised? Well, if I have been paid off, I've not received any money yet, so that's unfortunate. But the answer is no. Okay, nobody paid me. I am speaking on my own behalf against probably the wishes of many, many flat earthers, and a wish against, probably against the wishes of many of my friends. But unfortunately, I've had to kind of go rogue and go on my own and just say I gotta do what's right and not. I can't even lie for one show. I can't even pretend for one show like, oh, I'll still push flat Earth when I no longer think it is applicable. And I'll tell you why here shortly. So that's it. Have I been paid off? No. Compromised? No. Everybody was great to me. McKeegan, Toon, they were fine to me. Duffy, fine to me. Mark Herman, great to me. So there's no issues there. Okay. Let's go with the next step. What's wrong with the AE map? Okay. So here's what people need to recognize. I know that you're under some false belief that you think there's another map. Okay. That you think that there's a possibility for another map. And I just want to tell you that there isn't. And you should be able to come to that conclusion on your own. You shouldn't need me to help you. That you have to know that the continents are laid out correctly, right? So we can't move continents around. We don't move Africa. We don't switch it with South America. The continents have to be laid out the way they are. We also know that the tropics are laid out correctly, and we know that the equator is laid out correctly. How do we know that? Well, on the equinox, sun will set at 270, rise at 90. So that is correct. So we know where the equator is, and we know where the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer are. And we know that on certain days, the sun is above people on those lines. On the equinox, the sun is above the equator. On the winter solstice for us, well, the sun will be above Capricorn. And on the summer solstice, the sun will be above Cancer in June. Okay? So there is no getting around that. There is no changing the continents. So what it means is, and this is why I think people are having such a hard time with this, it means that the AE map is all that there is and all that there ever will be. That's it. There will never be another map. There can't be. And I find it hard to believe that people can't see this and want to go after me for saying that. And I'm sorry that I'm the only one that is willing to tell you these things. I really wish that there was others that would, and I know there's some people, but I'm saying, oh, I saw a super chat. Thank you very much. I'll check that in a second. I just think that you need to recognize that the AE map is all that there is. It's the only one that could have worked. Okay. And I believed for many years that the sun did set in Antarctica, and I thought there was plenty of evidence of that. And so when we got offered to go on this trip, I knew, well, that they weren't going to let me see it set, but that they would have to do something. And I knew at the very end of my idea list, or the very end of my possibility list, was that the sun circled. And I knew what that implications of that were. And I thought that everybody kind of did, or that people who have been in this a while did. I found out that they don't care, or they'll just say it doesn't matter. When it absolutely matters, it's the only map that there is. Okay, there cannot be another flat Earth map. And if you still have questions about that, I'm baffled if you can't understand the words that I'm saying. Because there is no other way that the world is laid out. We know what the sun does. We know where the sun is at all times. Now, granted, there's some people in this community that have maybe fooled you and told you that the sun could be anywhere that we want. And it could be apparent, and it could be, we don't know what the sun is, and we don't know what the sun does, and we don't know what the lights in the sky do or what they are. It doesn't matter. It could be a Nerf ball if it brings heat and light to places on the Earth, and it maintains its every path, or maintains its orbit that it has for thousands of years. Then we can use it to determine if our maps are correct. If you draw a map that jives with the real world observations, then you can say that map is applicable. If you draw a map and it no longer matches real world observations, then you can get rid of that map because it's been falsified. That's just the case. So you can keep saying these things that you've been taught to say, like, we can't tell the shape of the ground by looking at the lights in the sky. Well, not by looking at the lights in the sky, but if you knew the path of lights in the sky and it was a known path, then you absolutely can. You absolutely can. And so just because somebody tells you, just because flat earthers are telling you that you can't, you can. Just use your own head. You don't need to listen to these people that are going to lie to you and tell you something different. The lights in the sky do make a difference. Again, you can't say the moon's a sphere, the sun's a sphere, therefore we're a sphere. That doesn't follow. But you can say, well, the sun stays above these tropics like this. Every 24 hours it makes its orbit. And therefore, if we have a map that doesn't jive with that observation, then it's wrong. Okay? So, 1 second, let me bring something up here just so I can do this. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Oh, yeah, it is. This on bonjour. Yes. Sorry, I've got some weird thing on my computer that I always have to turn something on. Startup type, let's turn automatic, apply, start. Okay. Thank you. Yes, got it. Okay. So that's the AE map. Now, I'm going to show you what's wrong with the AE map, which you should already figure out at this point. But then at that point, I have a hard time understanding how we can just say, oh, well, I can't say it. In fact, I couldn't. I mean, it was the hardest thing ever. I was like, oh, great. Once I saw and understood what I was looking at, and we're going to talk about that with the South Pole, then I was like, man, this is the end for me. It sucks because we put a lot of years into it. We learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the Earth. But what I ultimately found out was that the AE map is not applicable to the Earth. So therefore, if there's only one flat Earth map and the flat Earth map no longer works, there'll never be another one. It sucks. I'm just telling you, and maybe you'll think of me in years down the road. If you're a flat earther for 10 more years and you get to the end of that rope, you'll be like, oh shit, Jaron told me this. Because no map will come out. Think about it. Lady Blunt and Robotham were people that claimed, they said, oh yeah, but there is a 24-hour sun and we can't explain it. That was in 1900 or 1875 or something. And so since then, there's never been another map. What do you think? Nobody cared to try? What do you think the reason is that there's never been another flat earth map? And the reason is because there can't be. That's simple. So let me see why this is not doing what I want it to do. So we're going to get into why exactly it's been debunked, and it's in multiple ways that the South all kind of exposes. And there it is, looking for something. And so we're going to go to that right now. Let's see here. Where are we going? Here. Okay, let's actually go to, that's pretty good, I think, for that answer. What did I say? What's wrong with the AE map? Well, the AE map is untenable. And there's a reason why, and why it will never be correct. And, oh. Trust. Sorry, 1 second. Trust. Don't know why this is not working. Good. Okay. So the next question is, what about Shane's model? What about Joe Hamby's model? Aren't those applicable? So we're going to talk about that. But first, I need to figure out why this is not going to work. There we go. Oh, shoot. Oh, 1 second. We got to go here and here. And where's settings? My map is doing, or my iPad's doing that thing again where it's not correctly displaying capture rate. Where does it say? No. Phone monitoring. There's somewhere where you got to turn on, keep it as, come on. Nope. Hand mouse enable, landscape mode enable. Okay, there we go. What? Boy. I don't want to sign in right now. It's saying I sign me out. Now I won't let me do that because it's let me see. Is this really bad? I wonder if you will see it like that, or if it's just, yeah, probably. I think, yeah, I'm going to try and show you this map, but I think you're going to see it screwed up like I do. But it's not the end of the world. It'll work. Let's go with this one. Okay, so you tell me if this, it's just not a circle, but you guys can figure it out. And I'm not saying it's egg shaped. I'm just saying this is not a circle. We're going to go game capture, see if that'll work. And specific window, and the window is going to be this live stream. Okay, and transition. Yeah, unfortunately you're gonna have to see egg-shaped Earth for now. Sorry, just the way it's gonna have to be. I don't want to sign in right now. It would take me too long to figure it out, and I don't want to do that during the show. All right, so with Joe Hamby's map, okay, which is just this map with a dome on top of it and then a super fluid ceiling or a bunch of other things and reflections. Just so you know that when the sun is coming around doing its known orbit like this, if somebody is standing out here in Antarctica, we need to see a sun going behind their head like this in the south. Okay, that's what's required because that's what the observations are. That's what reality tells us. Now, Joe Hamby thinks that he's figured out a way to make this sun reflect into this sun. Now, we know what happens when things reflect. They have signs of reflection, meaning inverted or flopped or flipped image. If you go and look at Dave McKeegan's footage, you will see quite clearly that we did not experience any change in the sun as it went around us in Antarctica, which means that the sun is not a reflection, okay? And it's the actual sun. You'll see me in my chest cam footage burn paper with it in the south and in the north. So therefore, it is the sun, okay? It is the real sun. And we also didn't see, imagine this sun's coming around here. And let me just back out of here real quick. Imagine the sun's coming around here and needs to somehow reflect at the same time as it comes around here, right? Like there's a transition point here that did not exist. Also, when it comes up to rise here and this sun's coming over here, there should be another transition point here. That doesn't exist. They're not there. So right away, we have a problem with Joe Hamby's model not accurately displaying reality, and it never will. Because he needs, in order to have a sun going the opposite way, it needs to be a reflection. And it wasn't a reflection. So let's move on from there. What else is wrong with this map and other models? We're going to show you that in a second. But I want to show you, I think the easiest way to show this would be, let's think about the stars. Okay, we're just going to do stars like this. Okay, now we know that there are the northern stars that we say can only be seen from the north. So you want to go to the equator about right here. Okay, now, so the stars in the middle of this would be seen from the north. And we would say that the stars in the south cannot see, I'm sorry, the people in the south cannot see these in the north because they're too far. But here's the weird thing. In the south sky, there is Sigma Octantis. It's not a star that we can see. However, there's a space that the stars go around. Do you know what? Have you ever heard of circumpolar stars? What are circumpolar stars? In the north, these stars are circumpolar. Okay, what that means is that these stars just go around the North Pole star, or the Polaris. They never set. Okay, the same thing is true for the south, meaning that they have stars that go, I believe it's this way, if I'm not mistaken. I got to think about that. But they go around that circle in a 24-hour period. So people can go down here when it's winter, in the, say in their winter, so in June, and it will be dark enough that you'll be able to see the sky for 24 hours. You'll be able to see these stars. So these stars do a circle, but I want you to realize where those stars are. Those stars have to be these stars in the south. Now we got a problem. So imagine these stars, as they go this way throughout the night and all the way around to this side of the earth, are seen over here just doing a loop around Sigma Octantis. So how could it be that we can see from here stars over here? We can see these stars, but we can't see these because they're too far. Do you see the problem? Isn't this further? Okay. So there's lots of issues with this map. Let me bring up something real quick here. And let me go to here. You can't see this. And by the way, also the sun was not Satan, denodal. Was not Satan masquerading as an angel of light, which doesn't even make sense. Can you imagine if you believe that Satan made himself into a little ball and flew in the sky to fool me? Then you have to realize that everything we're dealing with, it could be a Satan trick. Everything. The Bible, it could be Satan wrote it. What, does he know how to become a son, but he doesn't know how to write? He doesn't know how to rewrite the Bible. He doesn't know how to take pages and change it or anything. It's kind of weird. Okay, so this is the model, Shane's model. Also, I believe that Alfonso Soriano uses this as well. And I want to show you why this is a problem. Okay, so this is the Walter Bislin model. And let me just explain to you what has been done here and why we can't allow this to happen. And why I tell you Alonso's lying to you. He is not being honest when he says, oh, they predicted the 24-hour sun. Okay, do you realize that what this is taking the known view of the sky. Okay, so for instance, let's go ahead and take myself to latitude negative 89. I'm sorry, 79. Okay, so we're going to go there, negative 79. And then our longitude, we're going to go around to where we were here at Union Glacier, which is, I think, 81 or something. I don't remember what it is exactly. Let's go to 81. Okay, there we are. So now you can see that we are, what's going on here? Why is that off? It's kilter. Okay, great. All right, so here's what they're doing. They know what's seen from this position on the Earth for real, right? And they just put it in here, and then they pretend that whatever happens over here is just displayed like that over here. So really this is what they're saying. And you can decide for yourself. Either the Earth is a globe, or it's flat, and it magically places the sun, no matter where it is in the flat Earth, into our view exactly where the globe says it should be. Do you understand what I'm saying? We've robbed the observations from the globe. Okay, and it doesn't mean it's observations from the globe. What it means is it's observations from a place. Let's pretend we don't know where we live. So there's observations from that location. We are seeing those observations. We can prove that that is true. Great. So there's a globe model that says that is the observation that you would make from that spot. Okay, seems pretty accurate if they're saying that's what we would see. Then there's the flat Earth model who says, oh, well, whatever you see happens on a flat Earth. But wait, but what about the sun? What about where it's at? Oh, they forget to mention that part. Let me show you. So if we take this time and let's go to where there's 24-hour light, which would be, where's day of year? Let's go to 348, somewhere in there, okay? Now, you'll notice something here. Notice this yellow line here? The tilt that's there. And now if I play through the day, you'll notice that the sun just goes around like that, right? Well, guess what? That's what we saw. Remember, it was at a high of 35. There it is in the north. Let's go around so you can see. Can you actually get in there? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is what I actually saw. We were here in this location, and the sun comes around in the north and then goes around to my south and then back around. Okay, so that's what we do see for real. Now, the flat earth has the gall to say, yeah, we made that prediction. No, you did not. Because the problem is, if we move this time, I want you to see where the sun actually is. This is the sun. Do you understand that? That on the flat earth, the sun is over here, but they're just saying, oh, it just happens to be back here where you see it in reality. Well, what made it move from here to here? How does it just happen to be so magical that the sun disappears from where, and then, by the way, this is even worse than you thought. It also has to be here. Because guess what? In that time of day, it's above Australia, as you can see. So imagine, it's above Australia because Australia can look up and say, there's the sun, and it's heat, and it's light. Okay, great. And then we are saying over here, oh, but I see it back off this wall. That's what the globe says you will see, and we've just stolen it, even though our sun is way the hell over here. That's embarrassing. And I thought that people would call it out and be like, what? This isn't true. No. Everybody's backing Alfonso. Everybody thinks that he's some genius. Oh, he's a PhD. Oh, no, he's just stolen globe observations, placed them on a flat map, and then magically taken the sun and poof, out of thin air, it appears exactly where the globe says it would be. That is an embarrassment. Okay, now the AE map didn't need that. And I'll admit full-heartedly, I'll admit this fully, that I love the AE map. I think it explains the world better. I think it explains seasons better. I think that it made more sense. It was simple, easy to teach children. It's beautiful. It's elegant. It makes sense. You don't want to go to the outskirts because it's snowy and cold as fuck out there. It made sense. And I think I held on to it for so long because I really thought that it made sense, that it was a more simple model. Obviously, the globe is not simple in any way. But guess what? When you see the sun doing this, exactly what the globe says, which is over here, seeing the sun go from a high of 35 to a low of 15 in 24 hours, that's what the globe says is the observation. It's not a matter of they're making it up. And then to hear flat earthers be so confident and cocky is a problem. Our model got proven incorrect or got debunked. And so you're going to hear Nathan Oakley, scammers, stuff like that. You're going to hear all these other people make up any excuse they can to hold on to the flat earth. But what they will not be able to do, not today, not tomorrow, not next year, not in 10 years, is to provide you with a simple map of how the world works. Because they can't. Okay? There is a very real observation that happens when you're at the Antarctica and you look south and you see the same sun that's above Australia. Can anybody think of a model that explains how the hell somebody in Antarctica can look south and see a sun that's above Australia? There's only one model that's ever been presented that does that. And it also happens to jive with all our other observations. So I hate to be the only one telling you this. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've noticed that nobody else is going to bear this bad news to you. Nobody else is going to tell you what I'm telling you, which is the AE map cannot work. We are stealing real life observational data and magically placing the sun wherever the globe says it would be and saying that's our model. Even though the sun is somewhere else, right? The sun is way the hell over here. Again, let's look at stars. Can't you turn stars on here? I think you can. 1 second. Let me go stars. Okay, so we're turning on. Wait, hold on. Scroll up here. Stars. There we go. Okay, so these are the stars, and this is what I was telling you about. Let's put this person again into the south. Let's go with a latitude of somewhere over. Wait, what? Okay, so see these purple stars that are going around Sigma Octantis as I move the time? You see them there rotating around? The problem is that those stars are stars that are on the outskirts of the flat Earth. So these purple stars actually at some point in the night are over here. We tell people you can't see these stars because you're too far, but you can see these stars. That's the only stars that are here in the south are these stars on the outskirts. How could they be seen doing circumpolars like this if they're over here? Okay. So it's just time to face up and admit it and move on. Admit it that our map doesn't work. We thought it was right. We seen enough evidence. And again, I'll always side with flat earthers because I know why we believe what we do or what we did. I know why you see something like Stephen Hawking fake an experiment. You see something like Nat Geo fake an experiment. And you have to then ask that, well, of course, that means that they're lying. Why else would you fake science? Why would you fake the curvature of the earth? Why would you fake a helicopter? I can't answer those questions, but what I can tell you is it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter to the shape of the earth if Stephen Hawking faked an experiment, because the map that I'm showing you, the ideas, let me just show you something else here just so you can see my point. Let me turn off stars. Because I've gotten the most messages about people saying, what are you talking about? You know the South Pole exists. How could you say that? Yeah, I get it. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're down, so we were in Punta Arenas. Let me bring up latitude would be about, oops, there-ish. Let me move this over. Okay, so we're going to go to Punta Arenas over here. I can't tell where the ground is there. Is it that blue line? So there. Okay, so there we are in Punta Arenas. Okay, now I want you to look at the arc of the sky. Now you can go look at, we're at the wrong date. We got to go time of year, 365-ish. Where am I there? Okay, so go look at Dave McKeegan's footage or MC Toon's footage or Critical Think, and this is exactly what we saw. Okay, let me turn it this way. If you guys remember watching that live stream, let me get in here. I'm not really good at this map. I don't know how you look up. That's not going to work. Let's back out. Go like that. All right. So what we saw is a very high arcing sun. Okay. And we're looking right now at this one, not the one that's the flat earth one. Notice that the flat earth one's coming around back here, even though it can be seen over. It doesn't make any sense. So the sun that rises here and then goes way above your head and sets. From a side view, it looks like that. Okay. So here's us in Punta Arenas. We're watching the sun rise, go way up high, and then set south of west like this. And then if you remember looking at maybe I should bring that up. Let me go real quick and see if we can get it real quick, because I think it would be helpful if we find, let me see if it's this one. So what I'm looking for is at some point she's showing her star map, and I want you to see what it says the sun is doing. Because, come on, where are you at? Maybe it wasn't this day. Oh, there we go. Come on, be this one. All right, this is perfect. Glad I found it. Okay, so she's now bringing up and showing the sun. I want you to see that it matches perfectly here. Come on, what was that? Okay, so there's the sun there, and it's showing it rise. But the crazy thing was, it was only below the horizon for a short amount of time. Remember, it was like 1:30. We could still see the light, and it rose by like 4:30. See the light that's still there? That's because the sun set south of west. It's underneath the earth right now, and it will pop back up over here. I never thought I'd ever say that in my life, but I now believe it. Or at least it's explained, right? So I thought you'd be able to see. I don't remember where she had this little part where it showed it underneath. Maybe it's there. Yeah, so you see here, that is the sun. I believe this right here next to her finger. Right. So you see how it's just got that little happy face underneath the earth. Okay, so let's go back to here and just notice that that's what we have here, is that here's the sun, and it goes just a little bit under the earth. Now, as we flew towards Union Glacier, I'm going to bring the sun back. We'll put it here in the north. That's about where we left. We left about noon. Maybe it was 11. Okay, so there's that. And as we fly south, watch what happens. So I'm going to move this. I want to move latitude towards a negative 79. Okay, so you notice as we're moving, look at the tilt of the sun. We're moving. Oops. We're moving. Sorry, this way. Sorry, I'm moving the wrong thing. Meant to move this. Latitude. Okay, so as we're moving towards Union Glacier, look at the tilt of the sun. And all of a sudden, we get out to negative 79. And the sun did exactly that. Now it is above the Earth at all times. See it? And the sun just goes around at a high of 35, low of 15. Now, all I said was that from that amount of data, without any help from anybody, without a GPS, without a compass, I could find the South Pole. Because I can just walk. I'm going to move this now more towards it. And as I walk, I can just keep walking every day towards the southernmost part of the sun. Granted, it's a hard thing to do. You'd have to watch it. You'd have to watch the sun all day. Then you'd say, okay, it was lowest there. I'm walking that direction. Do that every day. And every 69 miles that you walk, the path of the sun is going to change by 1 degree. Eventually, you're going to get to a place here where the sun is at the same height all day. That's the South Pole. Now, what you need to recognize is if the South Pole exists, the AE map cannot. If 90 degrees south exists, the flat Earth cannot. If you bring this up, how would it be that all these people are at 90 degrees south? So if I move this guy now, the longitude line, and I work it around, do you notice the problem that this would be the same for everybody here? Well, how is that possible? Remember, I could walk in the direction of the southern sun and find the South Pole. So it just completely debunks the idea of this lights coming from the other side of the world. Again, if I'm over here and I walk south to get to the South Pole, well, what about over here? Did I walk through a portal and come back? No, of course not. The South Pole proves that the AE map is untenable. It proves that any flat map will always be untenable. So do the stars in the south. Okay? That's just fact. And I hate to be the only one that's going to tell you that, and I hate to be the one to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm just saying, if I want, just like I wanted everybody to get a chance to look into the idea of flat Earth, I want now everybody to get a chance to consider what I'm saying and get out. You don't have to. You can believe it as a religion. You can have friends in flat Earth and you can say, I feel comfortable here, and this is where my religion says, and this is what my friends say, and this is what I think people who believe in the globe are idiots, and I think you're a globe cuck and a globe tard. Say whatever you want. I'm just giving you the opportunity by being honest to you. Sorry, I'm the only honest truther, which is really strange. You can go listen to the fittest flat earther and Porgy Horgy or whatever these people's names are on TikTok that are just going to lie to you nonstop. They get all the views. 500. Do you think I get 500,000 views on anything? No. But by lying to you and you guys watching it, you are promoting that. You are getting more and more of what you want, which is people lying to your face. So it's weird that we said that, oh, the globe's lying to us, and they indoctrinated us. But who sells more shirts right now? Flat Earth or the Globe Earth? I mean, Flat Earth sells more shirts. There's more people with Flat Earth shirts than there are globes. There's more people with Flat Earth maps in their house right now than there probably is people with globe maps. So we've kind of become hypocrites and taken over the indoctrination area, which is really strange. So we just flipped everything on its head. We've become exactly who we hated, and we're now a walking cliche of ourselves. Just disappointing. So I wish that other people would step forward, but I get why they can't. I mean, it's going to hurt me as well. I've already started having to consider, and looking for a job. I dropped off 2 applications this week because I realized what's at stake here and what would happen if I told the truth. And it's just life. It's just what are you going to do? So hopefully that makes sense of what's going on here, that this is untenable. And anybody telling you that this is what Flat Earth predicts is lying to you. It's not what Flat Earth predicts. It's what reality says will happen. And if you put it on a flat map, then it needs to jive with the flat map. It cannot be we put real observations on the flat map and just say, there it is. Well, yeah, but the sun is over here. So what they really want you to believe, what I believe is the idea, is that if we're going to, and then this is why they call it apparent, right? Apparent sun. Well, They've now just made it apparent because they want to just have you believe that randomly, see the sun back here on the back wall, that it's actually over here. So they have to say apparent, because if it's a real sun, then the map's garbage. Well, I hate to tell you, the sun is real. The sun is a physical item. I think that Crow 777, Melodome, obviously, 260 something days in a row of filming the sunspots and seeing that the sun seems to turn. I mean, you can call me a shill. You can call me whatever you want. You can have people, I mean, all these people bringing up old shit and bringing up me saying things about Jesus Christ from 9, 10 years ago when I was frustrated in a debate with Red's Rhetoric. And I blurted that out because they kept going after me about religion. And I was like, dude, I don't believe in religion. And I was upset. So I said something that I can't take back, but you're just going to let these people bring up all this stuff now. It's so hilarious. People revealing private conversations from 6 years ago. Like, oh, look at Jaron here. Like, well, what are you talking about? By the way, it's another thing I need people to realize. Do you people not understand what private messages mean? If me and you are talking in private message, it does not mean you then go share what I said to show people. That's not what private messages are. But people can't even have that kind of decency. Now, I can understand if I said something illegal, or if I said, something that was disgusting, or yeah, sure, show people. But just everyday conversations with people, it's insane. It's insane that people would feel that that's okay, and why anybody would ever trust you to ever have a conversation again. I'll never know. So anyway, you can see this on the back wall. I mean, this is what you have to believe if you're a flat earther now, that the sun is over here above Africa, bringing heat and light there. And at the same time, it's going around the back wall. But how? Because it has to be the same sun. It's not a reflection. Because if it was a reflection, we would see a flip. We didn't see a flip. So you have to understand, from my point of view, I went to find out. I thought the chances that the sun just circled was very little. As time went on and the trip got closer and closer, it increased in its percentages, but I kept saying, well, this trip's going to be canceled. Every trip like this has been canceled before. I really don't see myself going to Antarctica. And before you knew it, it was upon us, and it was like, oh shit, we're going. And I'm glad that I did. It was a trip of a lifetime. It was the most beautiful place I've ever seen. Can't even describe it. Just surreal and very pristine, very untouched. Seemed extravagant, magnificent. I don't know what the word would be for it. But that's the problem with the AE map, and that's the problem with everybody's model. So this is Shane's model. It's untenable because it just is taking what we observe and placing it on a flat map and calling it a day. Does that seem okay to you? Does that mean it's okay? Okay. So I don't believe in proof. People keep giving me shit about that. I'm not saying it's proof of anything. What it is a falsification of the AE map. So if the AE map is no more, it's falsified, then the next step needs to be, well, what's another map? So you see number 6. What about another map? There is no other map, and there won't be. It's just time to face it. You can hold on. You can wish. You can pray. You can try. But I've tried, and many people have tried. It's just not going to happen, because let's look at this from head down. Do you realize that the continents have to be laid out? Oh, you can't see that anymore. Sorry. The continents have to be laid out like, come on. Sorry. This is not working. Go back. There we go. So the continents have to be laid out like this. Okay. And this blue line is the equator. And on the equinox, the sun will do a circle in 24 hours above that blue line. So there is no other map. Now, could Australia be a little smaller? Could we move Africa a little bit to the? Of course, not saying that. A lot of things can be moved a little bit, but that's not going to change the problem. The problem is that the sun went around backwards around the observer in Australia. And if the sun does that, just like Brother Sanchez said, well, oh, damn, hell, man, that's if they say they're doing that, I got to check that out. Drop a bomb in the chat. Give me a number 1 if you drop a bomb, something like that. So if the sun goes like this, just realize we know the sun travels above the tropic and the equator like this. We know it does. So if it goes behind a person over here, well, we've got a problem, because that means that, and I think I've pointed this out before. I hate to use my oval map again, but want to draw it here. Let's bring this over again. Where's it at? Just so I can show you this one more time. Promo. No. Where is this? Did I name it something map? There we go. I really hate that this is a egg map, because I'm sure I'll see comments like, why does he show it as an egg? If he showed it as a circle, it would work. No, it doesn't work. But let me show you. Come on. Go. Okay. So you have to realize that and I've showed this before, it's not the first time, but I just want people to really grasp it, that we know that there's a tropic of Capricorn. It is the lower one, which I don't really know which line it is. I think it's around here. Okay, so here's your tropic of Capricorn. I might be one line up, but it's fine. Oops. What happened? Hold on. Sorry, you're not seeing what I'm doing. What? Oh boy, now it's saying I only have 10 minutes to do that. Give me 2 seconds real quick. I'm actually going to go real quick over here, go to my last pass. What is that thing called? Power mirror. iPower. Sorry, I have to fix this. I do want to use it, and it's not signed in. What is it called? iPower? No. A power mirror. Sorry. A power mirror. A power mirror. Yes. So we want to go. I know that's my. Okay. There's my username, my password. Please work. Password. Control V. Username. This and this. Oops. No, this and this. Come on. Let me in. Log in. Sweet. Valid until 3/8. That's it. My account's almost up. All right. Well, at least we're on now. Now we can go back to here. Hey, we don't have to deal with the egg shape anymore. Woo! What? Hold on. Let's get this. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Now I sign in and it's like I can't find my iPad. It's like you just let me do it when I wasn't. There we go. USB connection. Connect phone, PC via USB. I did that. Okay, here it comes. All right, now we're good. Let's go to settings and let's change that one. Phone mirroring, and we're going to put it on to, I don't remember what it was. PC mirroring or phone? Phone. Landscape enable. Okay. Yes, restart. All right, now we're good. What are you looking at? Nothing? Okay, we're going to, don't mess around. Okay, here it comes. Properties and, all right. A power self live stream. Okay, there we go. Make this happen. All right, so something like that. Okay, so there's the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, so remember we were down here in Punta Arenas. I'm sorry, in Union Glacier. We saw the sun go like this. Okay, in this direction. Whereas the sun is going this direction. Okay, here comes the problem. Is if the sun is seen doing this, then we know for a fact that this is the Tropic of Capricorn. So how could it be that this is the Tropic of Capricorn, but so is this? Well, so this map can't be right. Can't be right at all. What model shows us the Tropic of Capricorn is going this way and around the bottom of Antarctica? And the answer is the globe. The globe shows it. So everything that we saw in the south, at least to me, makes me know for a fact that I could get to the South Pole. If the South Pole exists, then imagine everybody, let's do a sphere instead here. And here's Antarctica here at the bottom. That no matter where these people were, all around Antarctica, oh, you can't see that. Oh, you can. That if they all went south to find the lowest point of the sun in the sky, they would all end up at one point. At that point, the sun would circle right above at the same height, and you would have a circumpolar stars over here and circumpolar stars over here. So again, Am I happy about it? Is this what I wanted? Is this what I want to be wrong for 10 years? Nope. Is there reasons why people are flat earthers that are totally understandable and explainable? Yes. But it doesn't mean that you have to stick with it when it's untenable. I mean, I don't want to be that super bearer of bad news, but the earth will not ever be flat. That's just the way it goes. Because it isn't tenable. You can't have a circling sun, which must be the case. Okay, you can't have a circling sun that changes direction. How would that happen? So just so you know, this is why you hear everybody else complaining about me, crying about me, doing stream after stream after stream after stream about me, is because they cannot take this truth. So they're going to say things like, well, the sun's apparent. We know it's apparent. I don't even know if they know what apparent means. I remember when Zetetic Warrior said, oh, apparent means the opposite of, what did he say? The opposite of apparent is, God, I can't remember what his word was. The opposite of apparent was actual or something like that, which isn't the case at all. The opposite of apparent is not actual. Apparent kind of means actual, but it means able to be seen. Anyway, I don't want to get into that argument. The sun is not apparent. It's apparent very close to the other sun. Not apparent like the sun is over here and we see it over here and we call it apparent. No, this would be a completely magical sun. Not apparent, it's magical. It's a morph sun. It's a Pac-Man sun. Okay, not apparent. What we mean by apparent is when you take observations from two people and the sun is slightly off apparent, meaning that, this guy's here and this guy's here and the sun's here, but then this guy sees it at a certain part of the sky and then this guy might see it a little bit to the left of that. It's apparent. But he doesn't see it over here. Go, oh, it's apparently over there. No. That's not how it works. Not how it works. So if you want to know which model, and again, to check this model with, let me bring it up here in a second. I want to show you the, let's see here, this one. Wait, let me see what map this is. No, not that one. 1 second. We want to find this one. It's so funny. I keep seeing denodal. So funny. I'm looking at all these videos. The TFE shills exposed by King Nico and Destiny. King Nico can't expose shit. Let's make sure we understand that. Let's listen real quick while I find this. I want you guys to listen to, oh, hold on. Yeah, I want you to listen to this and you tell me if now you see the lies.
In the previous lesson, we looked at how to manually determine the celestial declination ourselves. This is a sky coordinate. Now that we have that declination, we can use it to make predictions for anywhere else in the world. What we're going to do is use a very easy formula. The absolute value of the latitude has to be...
I mean, this is ridiculous. So he's actually saying that you can determine now whether or not you'll see the 24-hour sun he takes the globe numbers like 66 degrees south and says, oh, if you minus that from 90, then if the latitude is above that, then they see it. Oh, no shit. This is not the video I was looking for, but no shit, guy. It's like, so I'm embarrassed that people are falling for this and think that this is great or that this guy proved something or did something. He hasn't done anything. He's taken the globe numbers, placed them on a flat map, and claimed that it's our prediction. So we need to call that out. It's embarrassing to not. That's not what I was looking for. One more here. This one. Okay, this is what I want to show you. So this is the Andrew Marsh model. I'm going to also throw this in t.me/Jeranism links because I think people need to see it. Here you go. Hey, thank you. 29 people saw the contract. There you go for Dr. Marsh's model here. Okay. What is going on? Browser. There we go. Okay, let me show you here. just so you can see. So this circle that's here is one that matches with their sun. So do you see the difference between our sun is on the other side of the earth and we just make it up? Their sun is actually in the sky. So you'll see this blue arrow coming off and pointing at the sun. There it is, see? So you can kind of come around here and you can see that that blue arrow is pointed towards the sun. And as we move this person, and I'm going to move them on here and we're going to go here. As we move them down, you'll notice that the blue line stays the same. It still sees the sun. Sorry, didn't mean to move that. Okay. So if we now want to see, well, what did Jaren see down in Antarctica? Let's go check. So now we're going to take this, we're going to move it to latitude 79 degrees here. 80 would have worked. That 79.5. There. Okay, so 79.5. There we are at Union Glacier. Now we're going to move our... Oh, how did it know where my latitude would be? Oh, no, we're not. Let's move it. We got to move the longitude a little bit, like about there. I think it was like, I don't know what it was. I thought it was 81. Maybe there. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to change the date and time to December 15th. Okay, and now when we see what actually is happening, how do you go this one? Ah, shoot. Hold on a second. Oh, not what I wanted to do. How do you... Okay, so now when we move the time, which we go to here, you'll see that the sun stays above the horizon at all times. You'll notice that where we were stays light the whole time. And people always ask, they say, oh, well, it's not possible on a globe. I don't know what you mean. If we move this like this, okay, and remember, the tilt of the Earth is going to be some way, I don't know. Again, I'm just showing you that their map, there's the sun down there. Okay, so if the sun is down there and this is tilted like this, then we move the, oops, change the date, December 15th, and move the time. So one thing I've heard from people is they say, oh, well, this is, they just derived the map or the globe from the sky, or they reverse engineered it. So if that was the case, then we would just reverse engineer the sky to the flat map, but we can't do that. What would be the reason that we can't do that? Anybody have any ideas? Anybody have any ideas? So to say that the globe doesn't have a model or a map would be a false statement. And you can go back. I never said that. I've never said that the globe doesn't have a model or a map, because I've known that the globe has the globe model. And we can go to anywhere. We can go to the equinox on, let's say, March 21st or so, or about there. And then we can move ourselves to the latitude 0 on the equator. And we can see that the sun would then rise. See this blue line going off into space? Well, then it works. You can grab this. I'm sorry, go to the, where's the time zone? No, I want the date. Time. There we go. So now as we move this time, you'll see what the sun does. The sun's coming, rising in the east, setting 270 west. So, moral of the story here is that the globe model makes predictions of the sky. Now, is there problems with why do we measure why don't we measure curvature? Why don't we how does water lie flat and level? Questions like that we see too far. Well, what the right thing to do at this point is to reassess that evidence, knowing that the chances that we are on a flat Earth are very slim, if not nil. And the chances that we're on a globe, considering it makes all the predictions correctly, is pretty good. Now, there's no other options. People keep calling false dichotomy. Let me explain to you what a false dichotomy is. That's when there's more than two options. Our options are flat, sphere. How is it a false dichotomy? What is the third option? Can't think of one, can you? So then it's not a false dichotomy. The options are flat or globe. And if flat cannot produce a map or any prediction or any model or any layout of the continents that will work with the sun, then we can dismiss it. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry to be the only one telling you. You're not going to hear this from other people because they're going to hold on to this no matter what. I'm giving you the opportunity to recognize the truth and to do what you want with it. by all means, again, if you want to stay in flat Earth, I get it. That's where my friends are. That's where, well, former friends, I guess, people that I have been by their side for 10 years. But it doesn't mean I'm willing to lie to my audience, and I think many other people are. That's just my way of looking at it. So, again, do I feel like I'm upside down on a ball? Do I feel like I'm flying through space? No, nobody said that. Nobody said that. But I also don't feel that there's bugs in my tummy. And I don't feel like there's bugs on my skin. And yet, if I get a microscope, I can see that those things are true. So it's not always about our senses. Not always. Sometimes things are... Now, again, here's my opinion. If the globe is true, here's how I would describe it and why I think there's a problem with every with every globe Earth proponent on YouTube. I think they try too hard to push the globe, so they end up lying. Okay, so the whole idea of, well, wouldn't a plane fly off into space? So remember, wherever you are is level and flat. Okay, that's what the globe calls for. So therefore, airplanes fly over a flat plane, the plane of the Earth. And they will continue to fly over the plane of the Earth for as long as they fly. Now, you can zoom out and say, well, that plane curved. It went over, it dropped a certain amount, it dropped its nose. But it didn't. It flew above a flat plane. This is why I try and get the Home Depot. People aren't even smart enough to get the Home Depot. They got to make videos and songs and dances and have a lot of fun. And Home Depot or Jaron Home Depot, or it just shows your stupidity. Do you understand that? Because it makes sense if you just think about it. It takes 51 Home Depots in a row to make 3 miles. Okay? But we all know that if Home Depots were built on a globe Earth, that no matter where we put the level inside the Home Depot, it would always say level. You should be able to grasp that. I hope everybody's with me so far. Okay, Jaron's saying if we put 51 Home Depots side by side on a sphere Earth that's as big as 24,901 miles, that no matter where we went in those 3 Home Depots, the level would always say level. Correct. So then I ask you, what happens if we flood those Home Depots so that they're a foot deep in water? So don't you realize that the water in each Home Depot would be level? The water finds its level. That's what it does. So the problem with these globers is that they're trying to lie about, well, no, it does curve. Water does curve. Well, no, water doesn't curve. Water is molecules, first of all. They're little tiny things. Smallest little smidgens of things ever. So water itself does not curve. Okay, but you're talking about, oh, well, what about drops of water? Yeah, that kind of water. But what I'm saying is, I think if people recognize that the ground beneath our feet is flat, it's level. So maybe we need to start looking at the grand designer of the whole thing and say, wouldn't it be incredible if God made the Earth a sphere, but it was everywhere flat and level? Because guess what that allows us to do? Fly airplanes, make railroads, make bridges, float boats, race cars. You can do anything because the ground where you're at will always be level. The entire structure of the Earth, when you zoom out like this, is a sphere. But everywhere locally is flat. Now, if you can't get that, if you want to say Home Depot Earth, you just show your stupidity. Snatchy Keta. Get over it. You're an idiot. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Face facts. You keep going over and over your jokes and think you're so funny. You're not. You just don't get it. And I'm sorry that I have to be the one to bear that to you. But again, if the whole entire world was Home Depots, the entire world was nothing but Home Depots, no walls, just a Home Depot floor, everywhere on that Earth would be measured level. We could take a level anywhere on the Earth of Home Depots and it will be level. So what happens if the Home Depots all flood? Well, they would all fill up with water, but what would that shape of the water be? Not locally. Locally, it's flat. But if you were to zoom out of these Home Depots and look at a collection of 150 of them or something, you would see that that water curves, but at no point is the water actually curving. The water's flat and level everywhere you are. Again, I don't know what to tell you. That's just a way to look at it so you can better understand it. Let's go back to our layout or see what else we've got, and then I'll be looking at Super Chats. hopefully you enjoyed at least going through a list, agenda. So what about another map? There'll never be another map. Isn't the sun apparent? No. The sun is the sun. Everybody can zoom in on it with their cameras and see the sunspots. So what you're seeing is the sun. And if it's slightly off of another one, you're talking about a couple degrees, not 180 degrees. So what's your conclusion? My conclusion is that the flat earth is untenable. And I'm all for anybody researching it and trying to figure it out, but I don't have my hopes up. I don't foresee somebody coming out with something like, here, this is how the flat earth can work. I've had people contact me, many people, telling me how wrong I am. And every one of them has submitted some sort of evidence that is ridiculous. It's always like they don't get it, or they don't understand, or they haven't quite grasped they're like, what about if this happens? I'm like, no, well, or people who think you can do the 2-pole map, a flat earth with 2 poles. But the problem with that is if the sun goes around the southern pole, then it has to rise in the west for Russia and India. So it's time to face facts. It's time to, because I'm just going to, just, my name will be dragged through the mud. Everyone's going to obviously call me a shill, no matter how many of these channels keep putting my face on their thumbnails. I have to accept that. It's going to happen. But you're going to start to hear me demonized. And so if you just dismiss me, there'll be nobody here to tell you that. There's nobody here to tell you what I just did. So take it to heart, think about it, and just realize that it doesn't need to be your whole sense of identity. And I had one of my good friends, he's been a follower of this channel for 10 years, call me saying that he, is very sad because he lost his wife over this, some family, some friends. And, that's why I told people, don't ever do that, because as soon as you put your feet in the sand and you dig them in, and so do they, well, then both people are going to be stuck until one person can admit that they were wrong, which is very difficult to do. Imagine me having to talk to people that I've been friends with for 8-9 years. There's people in my VIP and stuff that I know must hate me right now. So hopefully they show up tomorrow at 12 noon for a discussion, and they can ask me questions, and I'll explain. And I've always told everybody in my audience, I've always told you from day one, that if I ever change my opinion on anything, that I would tell you why and provide you evidence for it. And that's what I've done. There's no way anybody can look at me and say, well, it doesn't make sense that Jaron no longer believes in flat earth. I've explained it to you that our map is untenable, cannot be true, and therefore, and knowing that there'll never be a map that replaces it, it means that the earth is not flat. And that's just the truth. So now, do I feel like we're spinning? No. But I do. I'm a big fan of round things. I just got to start to. I mean, like before, I didn't like the sphere Earth. It bothered me. But I do like round things. So we just got to get used to that. It looks to be a sphere, unless somebody's got some other answer. But I don't think you're going to find one. That's just me. So that's my conclusion. We're going to look at the super chats now. We used to call this section just the tips, but I don't know if I have a sound effect for that anymore. Do I? I don't think so. Tips, maybe? No. I can go like this. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for just the tips. But see, I don't have this sound effect anymore. Anyway, let's bring those up and see what's going on with the super chats. Appreciate everybody's support. If you want to see this channel continue, to go through my old videos, to basically reveal why I saw certain evidence certain ways, support the channel. Otherwise, do not. It's okay. I get it. But let me bring it up here. Oh, let's stop the poll. Oh, the final poll results were 40%, 100% correct, 35 undecided, 8% just very wrong, and shill sellout went up to 16. Okay, we're going to end that poll. I'm going to put something in here too while I read the super chats real quick. I'm just going to do start Q&A. I will not guarantee I can get to all these questions or even some of them, but I've got about an hour. So let me see here. We are going to say, ask Jaron a question. So get in first if you need to, but I'm going to read super chats first, and we'll see how far that goes. Ask Jaron a question. Start Q&A. All right, let's go to super chats. You should be able to ask me a question now if you look at the top there. we'll go to fan funding. Correct. All right. So we've got Rhino first. He said, cheers. Oh, wait. I want to put this on the screen. Let's bring that up. How are we going to do that? 920 listening. Very good. That's nice. And share this with your Flat Earth friends, please, because they need to recognize that the map is untenable, that we have people like Alfonso Soriano, and we've got people that are taking real-world observations, slapping them on a flat ground and saying, we predicted it, but our sun is 30,000 miles away. And we're just acting like that's okay, that's normal. The globe has never tried to pull something so atrocious. They have not. Where is the... Hold on. We want YouTube singled out. Yes. YouTube singled out. Yes. Get overlay. Sorry, I didn't do this before. I usually do. Properties. Down here. Okay. Go. Let me see how these come up there. Rhino. Oops. There you go. Let's see if that looks good on there. Good enough. You have to deal with it. All right. So we've got... It was up there for a second. What happened? Rhino. There we go. Cheers to thinking men who can deal with uncomfortable truths in the face of new evidence. It's not easy, but we did it. We got GBS Warrior says Jaren is awesome. Thank you very much. That's better than I've been hearing this week from many people. In fact, I heard people celebrating the other day that that I was gone. They were like having a little party. It's fun. We've got Metal Mania, $11 of 11 Nokia dollars. Thank you for the Nokia dollars. Appreciate that. And then 11 more. Thank you for the Nokia dollars. We've got Storm Chaser Patrick, one of my favorites. He always tells me to chase tornadoes. He says, I don't care if you arrive at the belief Earth is a big donut. If you're honest about it, I encourage you to look into the BITE model of cults. Go through the list of items in the model. The BITE model of cults? Okay. I'm going to write that down. I've never even heard of that. I mean, I've already said why the flat Earth is a cult. Think about it. You can't... I heard people saying like, well, Jaren's been a flat earther for 9-10 years, so there's no way he can go back to the globe belief or else he's a shill. So how is it not a cult if you're not allowed to leave, you're not allowed to change your opinion based on evidence? What else do you call that? What do you call that? When you get shamed, when you get shunned for going on a trip and making an observation, what is it called? I don't want to use that word, but unfortunately, I don't know what other word to use. So thank you. A BITE model of cults. Now, usually they'll have some sort of, it'll say there has to be like some priest in a cult or some sort of dignity figure or figure that people look up to. I don't think you need that necessarily. Dave McKeegan in the house. Thank you very much. $5 says, was it fake? No. That's just what a show would say. Dave, you're not helping anything. No, go watch, I think he was on FTFE's channel with Flatzoid, and just Flatzoid's bringing up every single one of these stupid claims, and it's very easy for us because we were there and we know nothing was faked and nothing was other than what was displayed. So it's just funny to see those conversations because everything that Dustin Nemos, he has like some list, right? They're all wrong. So anything can be explained. That's just the way it works. Thank you, Dave. We've got... but Lady Bounce said what? So Lady Blunt, or whatever her name is, said in 1900 or something that the Zetetics admit that the further south you go, the longer the day gets. Therefore, there is a 24-hour sun in the south. Followed by the next paragraph starts, we as Zetetics cannot explain this, but we remain Zetetic and flat earthers because the ground is flat and water's flat. And again, I just described to you why the ground is flat and the water would be flat on a globe Earth. Whether you accept that or not, I don't know. $5. I've never seen McKeegan with a full-grown beard. Dave is fake confirmed. Yeah, I don't think he can grow one. I don't think so. We've got, thank you very much to Singus TSP. Sorry if I'm getting your names wrong. Have to learn, you guys. Awakening Mind says, hey, Jaren, did you guys fly upside down once you got to the curve of the globe towards Antarctica? Since it's at the bottom of the globe, did you guys notice the curve once approaching Antarctica? Nope. And like I just explained, that in a Home Depot, you would keep walking, you would never notice a curve. So it's the same thing. Now, again, you can make fun of the Home Depot thing because you don't understand it, or you can go back and listen to me describe it again and go, oh, that does make sense. Oh, that's right. That if you were flying in a plane above these Home Depots, at no point would you ever see a curve or experience that. You would just be moving on a flat Earth that's big enough to be a sphere. Don't know how to explain it any other way. Jaron, I would hope you would look at other claims and revisit them. I watched an astronaut ISS talking to second graders doing experiments last week. Okay, I will look at that. I don't know if you actually saw them doing experiments. They don't really do that, but I've never seen it. They just say the word experiment and then make something up, but I'll check into it. Thank you very much for that. 499. We got Hermit Bible Study says, the South Celestial Pole and star trails is what killed Flat Earth for me. Good on you for being honest. Yeah, I mean, once I realized the South Pole is not, I think what we thought before is if you're thinking of the AE map, that there might be like 3 or 4 of them, and they could take you there and make you think it's the South Pole, and I believe that. However, I never thought about the sun and the tilt of the sun, and knowing that it matched perfectly everywhere from my home in California to Punta Arenas down to Union Glacier. The next step would be the South Pole. So for it not to exist would mean the world is a paradox, that everything works perfectly up until, 600 miles away, and then it all changes. That doesn't really make sense to me. But I'm willing. I put out a bet. If anybody wants to bet me, and we can go to the South Pole. We'll both pay our own trips, and then whoever is wrong, then they'll have to pay the other guy's trip. And I don't know if you want to pay $35,000 for that. What would you say to the family of Apollo 1? Thank you much, Joshua McTaggart. I think that NASA probably had them eliminated. So I told you. I did an interview with Gary. No, what is his name? I can't remember his name. About Thomas Ronald Barron. He was the head researcher, the head reporter, and he taught me all kinds of things that I didn't even know. I didn't know that the train that hit Thomas Ronald Barron left is a NASA-owned train, left from a NASA switchyard. Okay, supposedly hit his car because he was committing suicide, which doesn't make any sense. His daughter survived, by the way, and she claims there's no way he was committing suicide because he was worried the whole time about her putting on her seatbelt. Thank God she didn't. The only reason she survived that crash was because she didn't have her seatbelt on and was ejected or something. But anyway, there was only 2 witnesses that saw Thomas Ronald Barron get killed, and one of them worked for North America, never spoke, and the other person would also not speak on record. So there's a lot of questions about that. It tells me that NASA probably had something to do with, I mean, why would you be practicing in a full oxygen environment anyway? There was definitely shortcomings, and those people probably didn't need to die. So that's what I would tell them. Pilot here, Tyler the pilot, says, fun fact, the only AE map used in aviation is for Antarctica. The only AE map? You mean the reverse one? Right, the one with the south in the center? Yeah, I've seen it on the display on flights. I believe they use a grid system, right? They don't use like the magnetic south. We've got AM1, $5. Thank you very much. Says, sun location aside, is there curvature and are we spinning, flying through space? Well, I mean, if you were to ask me now, I would say that there has to be curvature. I don't know what else would cause the sun to tilt like that, but I haven't measured it. And are we spinning? I would say no. That I would think a geocentric Earth makes more sense to me, but I'm open to the evidence and flying through space. The one thing about the spinning that I'm not really sure about is I believe if you follow just Einstein's relativity, that you could never know which one is true. So if that's what is the truth right now, relativity, you can't say whether we orbit the sun or whether the sun orbits us because it's there's no absolute frame of reference. So you could say either one. So I guess either. Flying through space, I can't imagine us going 1.2 million miles per hour. But again, I can't imagine bugs being in my tummy either. How come there are no attractive flat earthers? That's fucked up. I think I'm pretty attractive. No, maybe not. Maybe not. 499. I'm 45. I think I look pretty good for 45. No? You want me to get naked right now? I'll do it. Okay. NASA Security Force. Nice name. Thank you for being honest. Don't give up on streaming. You've got this. I think you gained subs for this. We need more people speaking truth. Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be tough because of what has already been coming out. People just losing their minds and throwing every accusation they can. I'm a terrible person, terrible human. I don't even have a son. I'm not even married to my wife. People calling my wife, telling her I slept with Elizabeth. Like, why would anybody ever do that? I mean, that's like, do they think that I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going back to the flat earth now because flat earthers are demented and feel like reaching out to my wife and saying dirtball shit? No. Thank you for the $5. David Poole, I lost you now. Where'd you go? Is it on the screen? Oops. There we go. Would it be factual to say you now believe in the heliocentric globe model? You say the evidence fits a globe, but not that you believe it now. Thanks. I would say that there is no other option. So it should be pretty obvious. It's not a false dichotomy. If you're talking about sphere or flat, the flat has run out. The flat has hit a wall. The flat has been falsified. So I think it goes without saying that we must be on a sphere. Whether I believe it, I don't know if you'd go there. I would say that I don't feel it. I do see the observations match it, but I don't think it's important to say, oh, I definitely feel like I'm on a sphere. I don't think we'll ever feel like we're on a sphere. So I guess if I had to put my money on it, I would put money on the Earth as a sphere. Does that make any sense? Where does your relationship stand with Weiss? I have not talked with Weiss since I've been back from the trip. So that's where it stands. You, sir, have more integrity than anyone else in Flat Earth community. Takes a big man to admit when you're wrong. Instantly subscribe to you. Thank you very much, Eddie Smith, for the $10. I think more people will come around. I think that it just takes time for them to realize it, and they have been told certain things like that, the sky is a mystery and the sky could be anything we want it to be. But what they need to see is what I showed today. That's fine if you want to believe that the sky's a mystery or whatever, but there's a model that describes what we see pretty perfectly. And so if we're going to replace that with something, then it better also explain the sky pretty perfectly. And it doesn't do that. It just steals what the globe says will be there and then says, well, even though our sun's over there, it's apparent. So come on. We've got, what is your name? Eragas, $5 Russian or R dollars. I don't know what that is. I know these are hard times for you. I hope you keep your head up. I hope your journey continue now in the other way. Message from a Glober. Thank you very much. I'm okay. It's okay. Because I get the people that are messaging me upset. I get it, right? I get it. And I'm answering their questions, and I'm trying to be cordial and not call names and not get upset, because I do side with flat earthers. I understand why we had that belief. But at this point, I'm willing to talk to you if you have questions about why I would have abandoned something that I believed for 9 years. And it's because I've always known, and I thought everybody knew, that's what we all knew, that the 24-hour sun was a flat earth killer. So that's it. We've got Icaros for $2 or £2. Great stream. Keep your quest for the truth. Thank you very much. We got another £2. Says great stream. Keep up the quest for the truth. All right. Maybe there was a malfunction in the super chat. Made you chat twice. We've got JD63. $20 says, well done. I hope eventually realize the problems with space denialism. I hope you eventually realize the problems with space denialism. I already kind of have a little bit. I think that, whether right now I believe that the planets are the size that they say and the distance and stuff like that, I'm not there by any stretch of the imagination. Whether I think we went to the moon or anything, I'm not there by any stretch of the imagination. But certainly those things can change. They can just go back to the moon. Pretty simple. We're giving them plenty of money, $87 million, or what is it, $81 million a day. So I think that they get away with a lot of stuff, making a lot of excuses, going back and forth with every president. Just so you know, when Trump becomes president, he'll put in a new head of NASA, and the new head of NASA will change the direction away from the moon and back to Mars. And I did a documentary on it called NASA Going Nowhere Since 1958, and they will continue the same program because nobody's going to ever call them out for it. So as long as people who are so believers in space and believers in NASA and everything, they just allow them to keep getting away with purposely spending money, then wasting money, then not using the money. Any kind of job, any kind of career, any kind of employment that had the track record that NASA has of saying they're going to do something, putting all this money into it, and then not, would be wiped off the face of the earth. They wouldn't even be allowed to continue, yet we allow NASA to continue, no problem. Welcome, Eddie Smith, to the Jeranism Club. Appreciate that. We've got Jay Walken says, I never thought I'd donate to an ex-flat earther. Dude, you're definitely on the right path of questioning. Keep it up. You'll get it. Size matters. Agree. Nick Carey says, I get AE is falsified. Isn't globe equally too, though, through seeing too far, radius, battle of beams, etc.? Thanks for your work. That's a good question, Nick. I mean, I haven't looked into the battle of the beams enough. I hear the flat earth talking points and the proof there. I understand it. But I don't know what you mean by radius. Again, you can know the radius of a sphere by knowing the circumference. So people say we have to measure the radius. I'm not really sure how you would measure to the center of the earth anyway. As far as seeing too far, yeah, we do see too far. I've shown it many times. And the globe has at least an answer for that in refraction. Whether or not that's the case, again, once you realize that AE map is falsified and that it's most likely a sphere, then you start leaning like, well, okay, I could see it being refraction. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? You know, you could still fight it and say, no, I still think it's flat, but you'll never be able to explain the sun, which to me is a bigger deal than simply we see too far. Because it's not like we see forever. And then there's questions I've always had, like when we look across Lake Michigan and we see the buildings in Chicago, they're covered by a bunch of water, it looks like. So I've had to try and say, okay, well, maybe it ramps up and it, you know, but really that is a question that I think we should have. Let me get a drink of water real quick. All right. We did that one. We did that one. We did that one. Okay. Does Crow 777 and his second sun affect this scenario? I don't think so, because even if you ask Crow, he would say that the second sun is always right near the sun. So again, the problem with the map, the AE map, or the problem with the Joe Hamby's model, the problem with Shane's model, Alfonso's model, is that often the sun is nowhere near the sun. And it has to be two suns, right? It has to, because they both light, they both heat, they both burn paper. Thank you very much for $50. That's your only question, Chuck. Nice, I didn't even notice that. Very kind of you. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else to answer on that. No, but I think I'm going to be on with Crow soon, so I will definitely ask that question. See what he thinks. JSauce says, proud of you, Jaren. True colors are shining. Thank you very much, JSauce and Z349. We've got NASA Security Forces back, $2. Can you and Austin still be friends after this? I think we're friends. Yeah. I mean, I think Austin is, yeah, I mean, I can't speak for him. He will either hear what I'm saying and realize that it's, you know, hard to refute what I'm saying, or he'll have a good refutation for it, or whatever you call it. But again, to the people asking me, debate Austin, I'm not going to debate Austin. It's like, go fight Mike Tyson then, Jaron. No, I'd probably not. Probably rather not do that. Thank you. You told the truth and did the right thing. $5 from Grave Refallen. You told the truth, did the right thing. Just look at future subjects from both sides. Believing is not knowing. Yeah. No, I mean, I've learned a lot about what happens if you go into a inquiry one-sided, right? So, for instance, if you're somebody who believes, I don't know, it doesn't matter what the object is, but if you go in with the intent of proving yourself right, sometimes you can easily find the evidence you're looking for, and it kind of clouds your judgment. Whereas if you took a more open look at it, you know, and I get it. The hard part for me is that it took me having to see it myself, and I understand that you can't do that. You can't go see the sun in the south. So, but you can call somebody in Punta Arenas and see that the sun is the big arc that I told you about in December, or sometimes you do have to trust humans. You know, hopefully people can look at me and say, "Hey, Jaren hasn't been dishonest. I can trust him that he saw the sun. He's got footage of it. He's got his cameras. He's got, you know, the chest cam, the live streams. It's okay. Like, we cannot go through life and not trust people. It's just, you'll not get anywhere. And to be a truther means that you should be getting closer to the truth. And that's all I wanted. When I started this, it was like, hey, help me find evidence for the globe. It took 10 years. Now, I got lots of evidence along the way, but there was nothing that was a concrete, end of story kind of proof like this was. And this was just that. It is untenable unless Dean Odel's right and Satan balled himself up as a little sun and flew around me for 4 days, in which case F.U. Satan. We've got Joshua McTaggart. Is that correct? Yes. IMG, I'm wrong on Apollo 1. I know the family wrong. What? IMG, wrong on Apollo 1. I know the family wrong. What family? Doesn't Gus Grissom's wife and son both think that NASA was involved in that? Or that NASA killed him? I believe that is the case. I don't know which family you're talking about. Is that what you mean, OMG? Is that OMG? OMG, wrong on Apollo 1. I know the family wrong. Yeah, I don't know if that's me. All right, let me check out the questions. We still got some time. Let me get over there. We're going with questions. Oh, boy, there's a bunch. Hold on one second. Scrolling up. These still come over? They do. All right. Not a question, just nice to see someone being honest. Thank you, Devo. Pineapple Aid, that sounds good. Explain gravity acceleration. I don't need to explain gravity acceleration. What does that mean? I will never be able to explain everything, by the way. So it's not even worth worrying about. I do think that we put too much emphasis on this, right? I mean, now granted, things change. If I went down there and the sun set, then everything would be justified. And everybody that we put in all the time and effort and everything would be justified. And the world would be changing because we will have revealed that there's a massive lie and cover-up going on. That doesn't seem to be the case. So from that, I don't think it's important that I learn the globe in and out. I live here. I live on the earth. I have a family to raise. I've got a wife and a son, 2 sons. And I need to be a good father, good husband, good friend. And so as far as like, this is all my, my life is into, no, I thought that there was a deception, a very large one. There was evidence of it. And I pursued it until I found out I was wrong. And then I backed off. Will you take another look at some of your other conspiracies? Sure. Of course. But I don't know which ones you're talking about. But yes, I would, obviously. So why do you deny evolution? It's the same thing as denying the globe. It isn't, Mantis, is you're never going to be able to do what I did to the evolution. Right? So evolution is purely a belief, and there's no transitional species at all. Meaning that the hippo just shows up in the fossil record. Hippo. There's no animal before the hippo. Giraffe just shows up in the fossil record. Every animal just shows up in the fossil record. That sounds like a creation event because there is no pre-giraffe. There is no pre-hippo. Where's the transition from whatever it was to become a hippo? Those things don't exist, and it seems like there's a reason for that. So, but to just claim it's the same as not believing in the globe is pretty crazy because the globe can make predictions and it can make observations and we can go and verify those things. Whereas evolution requires us to just believe that we all started from a single cell, and that fish somehow got out of the water because that makes no sense at all. Imagine what did they do? The great grandson of the fish, they all tried to get out of the water and then eventually one grew legs and got out. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. So I don't buy that. And the fact that you're not allowed to not teach evolution, you're not allowed to not believe it. I mean, if a teacher says, well, I don't believe evolution, you're not allowed to teach in public school. They'll just get rid of you. So you have to, it's a forced belief. Would you ever try and prove heliocentrism, debunk geocentrism with the phases of Venus like Galileo did? Sure, but wait, so the phases of Venus would prove geocentrism wrong? But wouldn't they still be the inner planets? Wouldn't they still get, I'll look into that. I would think that you wouldn't be able to prove that with that. But I'm going to have Robert Sungenis on my show, so I can get from him. Come on. I'll write that down, though. So he said Venus phases and geocentrism. Okay, thank you very much for that. Jaron, can you unban my main account at Scott Rogers 3722? You offered once, but then got distracted. Yes, I'll try and do that right now if I can. You say it's at youtube.com/at, what was it? Scott Rogers ERS 3722. See there if that comes up. A lot of times people will tell me to do that and then I'll go there and it's not blocked. But let's see. Custom crisis. Report. Nope, you are hidden. Okay. You're clean now. Welcome back. would you change? What would change your mind on the Earth rotating? I guess first deciding if it's even something that's able to be determined. If we believe in relativity, which means there's no preferred frame, then no matter where you are, you can consider yourself still and everything moves around you. And there wouldn't be a way to really prove that that's not the case, right? Maybe I don't understand relativity correctly, but I would think that that's what it means, that whether you're on the Earth, the sun looks like it goes around you. If you're on the sun, it would look like the Earth goes around you. If you're on Mars, it would look like, same and so forth. So what would change my mind? If we could prove it somehow, or I'd have to see a folk cult's pendulum myself, but that would be pretty, well, that would, no, the same thing would happen, they say, with the universe going around it. I guess that wouldn't help. Do you think you'll be more open to other things than the globe supports now? More open to ideas, at least? Of course. Yeah, I mean, once you realize you're wrong, you have to readdress or reassess the way you went about figuring things out. And I think that a big part of it was that when people treat you a certain way, so just so people know, globe believers, just so you know, I mean, MC Toon, FTFE, Simon Dan, Professor Dave, they are actually creating more flat earthers. They're not helping anything. They're doing it for money. They're doing it for the kicks. They do it because they have some sort of morbid love of making fun of people. Maybe they were nerds in school, so they like to make fun of people now that they think are cool. I don't know. But regardless, they're not bringing any truth to anybody. We all dismiss them outright because of the way they act. Now, I'm not saying flat earthers are much better, but I'm just telling you that there's nobody who's ever become a flat or a glober because of MC Toon's videos or FTFE's videos. They're just their entertainment. They're not for the truth. Well, they're for the truth, but I mean, they're not for getting new members. And then you look at Stephen Hawking and these guys who faked experiments, and it should make sense that who else is there to listen to? Science never stepped up. NASA never stepped up. It was just these globe proponents on YouTube saying things like we can squish horizon pictures and then show curve, which is just false. So at least I'll be somebody who would be honest with you about things rather than pretend just so I can get the globe across. I don't need to do that. Jaron, do you think space is fake in the sense that NASA lies? I don't think that I can say for sure whether or not the planets are the size and distances that they say. So that still remains that way. I would have to see somebody, I don't know, do some sort of bounce radar or something. But I think it could, with scaling and variance, you could bring everything closer or move everything further just by reducing the size, and you could just change the mass of the planets and it would still work gravitationally. It wouldn't be a problem. Crow777 says there's more land is the reason. The math could be a deception because they don't want us to know the other lands. Wait, Crow777 says there more land is the reason. So Crow believes there's more land on the outskirts? It'd be good to have a conversation with him because I did not know he does that. Jaron, I totally understand your thought process, but haven't you claimed to have falsified the radius value? If so, why would you do a 180 rather than sit in and I don't know what we live on position? Because one of the positions predicts the sky perfectly. So when I say we falsified the radius, that's because I'm going off the Nathan Oakley thing that, if the Earth is a sphere 24,901 in circumference, then the distance to the horizon is a certain distance, and then we can see further than that, and they call that falsified. I was in that team until I started to realize, again, if there is refraction, then that lifts the ground up from what we see, which we know refraction does happen. We know sometimes we see things not where it is. So couldn't the ground be higher than we expect it? In which case, is that falsifying something? No. So did we really falsify the radius? I don't know. Don't think so. Oh, geez. I thought I was getting close to the end. Geez, where are we at? Okay, here. Are you planning on doing more observations, experiments regarding the Earth's spin? Mad respect for your search for actual truth. Yeah, I mean, I would have to get some ideas. I don't even know. I mean, Einstein said there's no optical experiment that can prove whether the Earth moves. So I'm not sure how I would figure one out. But if you can think of one, send it to me. Reach out on Telegram. I would be more than happy. I think that MC Toon wants to go back and do the canal experiment again. And I think he has some pretty good ideas. I talked to Enrique. He's in. So that might be coming up in February or something. That we'll go back to the canal and we'll do it a little differently. We'll get a little higher up. We will use slits rather than circles or holes in the boards. And this way we can actually see where the light is being seen at what slit. Thank you for being genuine about this. I think you have a lot more to cover and learn for sure, but you're heading in the right direction. Learning is fun, and the people calling you a shill are just sad. I agree. Does this open your mind and questioning your other areas of science? Of course. I've already said that, yes, but it makes me question a lot. And again, looking back at things that I've already said were not true or that I didn't believe, then you kind of see them through a new light, and you're like, oh, okay, well, if I wouldn't have assumed this or I wouldn't have assumed that, then I would have seen that. And so, yeah, you can put yourself into a pretty tough corner. So to be crystal clear, you still believe there's not curvature, but you are unable to explain just the sun, right? So you still believe there's... No, because as I said, that there's only two options, sphere or flat, and the flat cannot work. So the sphere must be the case, which means there must be curvature. So you still believe there's no... I still don't believe there's no curvature. I would guess that there is. It's just I haven't been able to measure it, if that's what you mean. But you're unable to explain the sun. The flat earth cannot explain the sun because the sun would need to go backwards. And clearly, as I showed in that map earlier, the Tropic of Capricorn, let's say you're standing in Punta Arenas, looking west. The Tropic of Capricorn curves to the left, not to the right. So what model calls for it to turn to the left? Of course, the globe. What do you think of the video entitled Freemason Reveals the Inertia Plane? I will look into it. I don't think I've seen that one. Oh, wait, I think I did. Yeah, I think I've seen that before. Freemason. What did you say it was? Reveals the inertial plane. I'll check into that. Again, I mean, I just if it's a flat Earth, the very first thing you can ask anybody is, well, how does the sun work? How does it go backwards for people in the south? And again, the sun was upside down. The moon was upside down. That's just the observations. Please consider that level and flat are two different things. Oceans are level, but not flat. Yes, that's what I said, right? I think I did say that. So again, if you put the level anywhere in those Home Depots, it's always level. Now, flat, for the most part, is the same locally. So I think that's what you're getting. David Poole says, you say you can't feel yourself spinning, but you are willing to admit that we feel a change in acceleration, not velocity all by itself, aka, hold on a second. I keep getting to the bottom of this. Where did that go? It's still on the screen. There it is. But are you willing to admit that we feel a change in acceleration, not velocity all by itself, aka you wouldn't feel the spin because it's constant? Yeah, I mean, I guess I can understand that, but I do think you would speed up and slow down. I'd have to think about that. I think that there is a problem with that, but I do admit that we feel a change in acceleration. But also, you would think, well, I guess traveling through a vacuum. Yeah, I'm not sold on any of that stuff. If the Earth is traveling through a vacuum, it just gets crazy to me. It's like it seems so impossible that would be the case. What do you think about the space flight? Do you think its orbits are fake? No, not now. What do you think about space flight? Do you think its orbits are fake? No, I think that they can put things in orbit. I'm not sure you can go to deep space. I don't know if you can go to the moon and things like that. Who knows? I would have to look into that further. I'm the Craig says hi. Hello, Craig. How are you? Good buddy. VIP. How many developers would have to be paid off to create and update the software necessary to fake data sent to scientists? They would all be in on it, even open source projects, i.e. Satnogs. I don't know what you mean. What data? Are you talking about like the guys at NASA? So you've got what's the guy's name? I want to say Vern Glenn, but that's not it. So one of the NASA heads says that when they give the controllers simulation data, that it's impossible for the controllers to know whether it's a real event or simulation data. So it'd be very easy to pass off fake data to the people working at NASA. And they would think that they're, like, for instance, I still, there's no way that any of those pictures of Saturn are real. There's no way. I'll show them to you. They're fake as could be. So, I mean, I get that people want to believe that, but it's just like, just because the Earth is a sphere does not mean I have to give NASA the Cassini images. I mean, it's so bad. Cassini images. I mean, these are clearly computer generated. I'll show you. So there's a photojournal that has, I could never find it. Last time I couldn't find it either. Is it this one? Cassini images. They have a collection of like some ridiculous amount of pictures. Let me see where it is. Mission, backlit. Where's the images? Can never find this. Cassini Home, Science Mission, Multimedia, Explore Graphics. Where's the images? See if it's in here. Cassini images. It's only 375 pages here. The other one has like ridiculous. But I mean, like this to me is like, this is not real. It's just not. I mean, I get that people want to believe it and they think that our scientists have figured. I mean, we don't have a craft that flew here. Like, do you know what they say this is? These bands, that these are like ice particles or something. Like, why would they be separated by color? Oh, the brown rocks all got together and said we're going to be collected here, and the gray ones that we're going in here. It's just not real. I mean, you can look at Saturn through. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is supposed to be a real picture. Okay, now you can believe that if you want, but I have every right to say, yeah, right. Okay, that's just ridiculous. In fact, I think I've taken a straight edge, have I not? Maybe it was on this show or not. Let me see. If you take this and we save this image, we're excited. Let's bring this up. Okay, we're going to bring these. Oops. I just want to show you that, I mean, we know that straight lines don't even exist in reality. And yet, I believe if we take this, what's going on here? Not in Picasso. Sorry, I'm going to bring something else up. Where's the other drawing program? I just want to see if that that line is just fake. I mean, it's just a computer generated thing. Let's go here. So we're taking this as a graphics program. We're just going to take a line in here. I guess it's kind of blurry. You can't really see. Just looking if that's a straight line as can be. I mean, that just looks insane to me that this would be. And what's going on over here? Another moon. One question I have too is about like whenever there's pictures of Jupiter, they sometimes have the moons and sometimes don't. Sometimes they have the shadows. Like, what did they do? Remove them in post or something? I don't really get it. This is not actually the place with all the best Cassini images anyway. Where's the stage of shadows? I mean, this is ridiculous to me. Like, if people think this is what a real picture of Saturn looks like, it's just ridiculous. But that's just me. Again, you can believe it if you want, and if there's some way of ever proving it, great, but I don't think you'll ever be able to prove that those are weird. I don't understand this whole peanuts thing. They have some fascination with peanuts. They always throw these peanuts on the counter. I don't know why. Somebody said that they equal 33. I don't think that they do, but anyway, I don't. Oh wait, no, Cassini stories. Let me see where. I probably saved it one time and I forgot. Let me see here. So Cassini 100 images. No. Cassini multimedia. Maybe it's here. That's where we just were. I had this problem last time. I don't know if people remember. It took me forever to find it. Astrophotography, CNET, space.com. No, I'm not going to find it right now. Cassini images, download. There's like a whole. Maybe it's this one. Mission archive. They have a place like, I mean, I think it's like 750,000. I can't remember the exact amount of images, but you can just tell. I think that they send it into a computer simulations, computer simulated, and then return that data, and people think it's real. Mission overview. I don't know. Not going to look for it now. We'll try one other thing. 100 images from Cassini's mission to Saturn. Nope, not that. Official source of Cassini images of Saturn. I don't think that this. Oh wait, maybe this is it. And where's images over here somewhere? No. I've done many videos on it. It's just once you look at the images, there's not one that even looks remotely real. Media gallery. That's Jupiter. No, it's the Saturn ones I'm looking for. No Cassini. Let me just try one other thing. I have a problem that people know if they watch me, they know I have this problem. Once I Cassini images. Images taken by Cassini here. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember where to find it. Latest images. Space image map. So, Cassini visual mapping. Yeah, I don't know where to get that. It's like a whole database, and you can just easily flip through the images, and there's like tons of pages, but I'm not seeing it. So anyway, that is there. Eventually, one day I'll show it. It just can't be real. I mean, people should. I mean, look at these pictures. They're just like so obviously fake. I mean, this is just. Let's be honest. Let's be adults and be like, oh yeah, that's fake. This says it's the homepage of the Cassini imaging diary. Cassini post mission in orbit. This is kind of like it. I mean, you could just go through these. I mean, this is kind of what I'm talking about. I mean, this is not real. Just not. I mean, I get why people think it is. Where did I just see a? What is this? Yeah, I don't even know what's that supposed to be. Like what the satellite is just sitting there in the sky or something. Yeah, I don't know. Teach your own. I mean, I'm definitely open to looking into it, but I don't know why anybody would believe any of these images. I mean, look at this. You can't tell a computer generated image. You can't tell that this is not a real picture. Why would I need to be the one to tell you that? I would think that people could figure things out like that on their own. I mean, this is not a real picture of an item in space. It's just funny. And again, this is funny to me that we can see the North Pole of Saturn very easily. Now find me a North Pole picture of the Earth. Oops, you won't. Can't. They won't show us that, but they do show us the hexagon on Saturn. Very easy. It's very easy to get that, but Earth would be tough. You have to have a satellite up there or something. I mean, this is just not real. Why would the black rocks and the gray rocks get together here and be like, a white rock's out here, gray one's in here, we're going to stay in this band? I mean, it just makes no sense. Give me a break. And again, it looks nothing like what we see from a telescope, which I'm not declining that it's there, that there's a Saturn, but this is not real. All right, anyway, let's get back to the questions here. Where are we at? Unplugged, there we go. All right, we've got up next. Is it hard to see? Is it hard to unsee how idiotic flat earthers are? Well, the ones that are calling it fake are, I mean, that to me is like, I mean, Eric Dubé is like basically a retard to me. How he goes from flip-flopping to say it doesn't matter, then we get back and he's like, oh, it's faked because it's in an Amazon studio or something. Like, that's horrendous research. So then it makes you look and say, well, did he do that bad of research through the entire 200 proofs? Probably. Now what? You proved you're an honest man. Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate that. Plum Level Square Bear says, what say you about Crow 777 saying there's a second sun? Like I said, he says it's right next to the sun. So there is no second sun, as in a sun over there that heats up and lights up the Earth, and one over there. No one's ever even claimed that. Antarctica aside, what about NASA fraud and why they would do that if the world was exactly like they propose? If they can't go to space, they would probably make it up. At least that's my opinion. I mean, I have to rethink all that stuff, but those pictures are not real. So, I mean, you can take it from that what you want. What about the documents talking about a dome firmament? Do you ignore that it exists? If the Antarctic walls are the highest platforms, are we not in a deeper basement? What documents talking about a dome firmament? In the documents you're talking about, I think talk about a dome, meaning a mound of snow in Antarctica. That's what they call domes. They're like circular mountains. The first person to become a flat earther to go back to the globe? No, that was me. That was Ranty. That was Rachy. But I'm just the number one. That's all. Are you going to get COVID booster now? Absolutely not. Asking for McToon, Simon, Dan, and Professor Dave. Nope, I'm very happy with my decision as far as that goes. Again, this is the problem with these people when they do trust the science and then they get proven to be wrong. You are creating the very problem that you think you are combating or that you're going to gaslight people with. It's the same thing as when, I mean, Stephen Hawking, by faking his experiment, caused many people to become flat earthers, and they have every right to. You faked your one opportunity to prove the shape of the Earth. Why would you do that? How do you feel about the aggression and hate from your side against you? You've been made a pariah. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm a big boy, so they can come at me, bro. No, I mean, I get it. That's the thing, is I get it. And they have no other option. So their options now are, do we see what Jaren's saying and we exit the flat Earth? But then they lose subscribers. They lose whoever's in their life. They have to go and tell people who they lost that they're sorry. Most people don't want to do that. So I expect it, I guess. Thoughts about NASA's Grace mission? You're amazing. Wish you the best. I don't know what Grace mission is. I don't know which one that is. I'll look into it, but don't know which one you're talking about. Grace mission. Is that like God's grace or something different? All right. Why is the high altitude with air balloons still see a flat horizon then? Well, I mean, that's a misnomer because we've all said, or at least I've said the whole time, that you would always see the edge of a circle, right? Your eye line, your eyesight is the radius of a circle. So therefore, if you got high above the earth, you would see it as a circle. So if they're showing a flat, it's because the view of the camera, the FOV, if you will, is very small. So you're just seeing one edge of the earth. But if you were to wide view it, or you were able to look at it with your eyes, you would only see a edge of a circle, whether it's flat or a sphere. So I don't think that really helps us. Hey, Jaron, have you reconsidered every other flat earth adjacent idea, such as Himawari satellite images being fake? Yeah, I do know. I still cannot say that that's the earth. Again, with that, I still have a problem with the amount of time that it takes to get those images. Now, somebody did give me some info that maybe you can get them back in like 9 or 10 minutes if you go to a certain server or something like that. So I'll look into that, but I do find it funny that it takes 35 minutes to get. It just doesn't. And then why do they hide? Like if we go to Himawari 8, why do they hide? I spelled that wrong. Himawari. Why do they hide the eclipses? Why do they hide when the moon goes behind there? There's like lots of things that we could show people from space that they hide for some reason. So there's definitely stuff hidden by NASA. I mean, whether you guys want to admit it or not, it just doesn't. I mean, this to me just does not look real. That's all. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know. People then try and lie and say like, oh, well, I verified the clouds. Shut up. You didn't verify the clouds. It's like, so somebody in Australia right now can go out and verify these clouds? I don't think so. Okay. Doesn't really work that way. But anyway, like, it's still light here right now. And I'm over, quite a ways over here. I guess maybe you could see, well, I'm on the West Coast. I don't know. Just seems like this is just doesn't jive for me. And then we look at the last image came at 1720. It's now 542, so 43. So we're already at 23 minutes since the last image, which is weird to me. It takes about the amount of time that it would take for you to plug all this into a supercomputer and have it output the clouds. And I've shown people on Ventusky, by the way, best app I ever bought. It's called Ventusky, Ventusky. Wait, do I have it on here? I might even have it on my iPad. But I don't know if we have it. There it is, Ventusky. Oops. Ventusky. I'll bring it up and show you this because it's pretty damn cool. But I'll show you where they can predict the clouds for weeks in advance. So, but then the globe wants to pretend like it can't predict clouds. It's like, this is what I mean by kind of stop lying. Okay, so this is Ventusky. It's an app. I think it's like $5 or something for a full license, but it's kind of cool. You can actually go down here and hold these down. You can actually see, oops, here we go. Come on. You can actually bring up webcams. Here's their South Pole webcam, and you can, either play 24 hours. So this is at the South Pole. Go, oops. Come on. Nope, not working today. Let me go 30 days. Usually they work pretty well. This is a 30-day I went to. And then it takes a picture every day at noon. Again, this is why we couldn't use this to determine whether it was a 24-hour sun, since there will always be a sun there at noon. Just watching this. The hell happened there? Storm on January 5th, maybe? So anyway, and you can even go to 1 year and then watch the 1 year. It's a nice camera view. So we're in March, so it should start getting dark here in April, May. Now it's dark completely. And then usually you'll see like a green laser shoot up from here. There we go. And then once you see the stars, that's pretty irrefutable there. When it's winter, it's nice to go down here and check out those stars though, because they'll just, you can do the 1 day and it will just circle the sky. So anyway, let me get out of there. So with Ventusky, what you can do is you can see, what did we get on the subject for? What did you ask me? Adjacent ideas such as, Himawari. So you can go to cloud cover by going here, go clouds, go, let's see, let's go high clouds. Okay, let's check if it matches Himawari here, which it should. And really, oops, that's not. So kind of the same thing as we saw there, right? If you go there, and we'll just flip back real quick to Himawari. But I'm saying if they can fake clouds, like for instance, this Ventusky that we're looking at now is not real, right? But they can have the clouds here. So why wouldn't they be able to have the clouds on the Himawari? They would be able to. But people act like the Himawari has to be real because I don't know what reason. Just they say that. But if we look, I mean, these could all be simulated clouds. They could be fake clouds. They're not real. And then you have this over here, which kind of looks the same. But anyway, you can go see these. Oh, you can't see the bottom of my iPad. So I'm going to move ahead Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So they've already got the clouds for a week in advance. More than that. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So people act like we wouldn't be able to predict clouds, yet this app can. So they could easily plug in the data from, and if people don't know this, they launch 1,000 balloons they launch 1,000 balloons twice a day from 1,000 locations that they use to gather all the information of the jet streams. They do Doppler, and then they plug it into these models, which then can predict very accurately the rest of the day. So you could easily put that onto that Himawari picture, and it would take 25 minutes. What time is it now? So we're now at 47, and the last picture was at 5:20, so we're now 27 minutes. It doesn't seem like in today's world it should take 27 minutes to get a picture of the Earth on there. So this is high clouds. Like I said, you can change the date on those. But I mean, I still had lots of questions here. If you go to, there's so many things on here. See this? We can go to where's wind speed, and then you can change the height. So you can go 100,000 feet. Oh wow. Wow, that is crazy. Huh. So if people don't remember, in about 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, we were seeing crazy winds around Antarctica in the 250 mile per hour, 350 mile per hour range. And we were wondering if it was going to flip, and it did now. Now we get those winds around the north. Look at that, 341 miles per hour right here. That's 341 miles per hour. 337, 341. Those are miles per hour. That's insane. That's at 100,000 feet, though. But anyway, it was in the south, and I said, well, you know, if it was a globe, wouldn't it need to flip? And it looks like it has flipped. Crazy. So, you know, same thing. You can change those speeds by going different days. Right? What is today again? 17th? 17th. That's right now. 7 p.m. So this is now. Sorry if I made you think that those winds were. Well, there's a 355. That's like the fastest I've ever seen. But again, there's no planes that are flying that high. Let's go to 40,000 feet. And then you can see these jet streams. Crazy speeds there. I saw 192, 149. Anyway, this is a fun app. Lots of things you can get from it. But yeah, all these little webcams, no matter where you go to a webcam, they all work pretty well. Usually, this is from Hawaii. And you can look at the last 24 hours. And then you can do 30 days or a year. But anyway, Ventusky, Ventusky. It might be $10, but it's well worth it. You get all these things at temperature. You can do satellite pictures. You can do thunderstorms, sea. You can look at the sea currents. Oh, I did want to show one reason that I think I still have problems with the whole Vendy globe is because if we go to wind, let's go to air wind speed. Let's go to just 10 meters above ground. So, I mean, down here, you've got winds of like 45 miles per hour at just 30 feet above the ground. And yet those boats end up doing like 12 knots. Kind of crazy. They should be able to do much faster speeds than that. 48. 39. Anyway, just something interesting. All right, let's go move on. Back to where we were. I'm never going to get out of here. We got 10 minutes. We're all right. I told people I'm going to keep the show at 3 hours so that people don't cry about it. Because people do cry. They say, I can't watch that long of a show. They're very, very into the great place over there, TikTok. I don't know if you've gotten your truths from there yet, but they everything on TikTok is true. Mostly. Blue marble pick is real now? Nope, I don't think so. If Antarctica is a separate continent that is bigger than we are told and not the wall, would it prove flat Earth? No. You have to explain the sun going the opposite direction than the sun that we know in the Earth goes. If you're looking down at a flat Earth, do I have a Shane's model here? There we go. Real quick. Over here. Okay, so if we're looking down on this, the sun goes around this way. See it circling clockwise. Okay, but for somebody in Antarctica, which is, we'll say this person here, watch what the sun's doing. It's doing the opposite. So the sun's going clockwise, but this sun is going around this way. And I saw that and can confirm it. And that doesn't make sense. Again, in this model, you have to believe that this sun is somehow displaying itself over here, but also over here, because it needs to be above South Africa to give them light and heat, but it also needs to be able to be seen south of this person in Antarctica. So that's why Flat Earth says we need an apparent sun. But you don't need an apparent sun if you believe in the globe, because the globe makes this exact prediction. The reason that you can see the sun south of you in Antarctica, is because you're at the bottom of a sphere looking at a sun out in the distance that's lighting the other side of the Earth. So it is lighting South Africa. It is lighting these places. It's just not flat, according to this. So hopefully that makes sense. How can you say it's a bigger sphere when the globe has... I didn't say that. Again, I don't know why everybody keeps doing that. I never said that the Earth is bigger than 24,901. So I never said that. How can you say it's a bigger sphere? Didn't say that. When the globe has specific measurements for the circumference and curvature drop, we see further than that. Yes, I know. I never said that it's bigger. I don't know why people hear me talk and they think that that's what I mean. When I say the Home Depot thing, that's on the Earth as it is. Right now, if you were to build a huge mall and you told the contractor, hey, I need you to build this mall, but I need you to build it to the curvature of the Earth. And then you told another guy building a mall next to it, I need you to build this to its flat. They would be identical. There'd be no difference. The Earth is measured flat or level and flat on a sphere as well. A sphere as big as they say it is. Hopefully that makes sense. How many more subscribers have you gained since TFE happened? I don't think any. I wonder where do you go to look at that? Is there like I don't remember the name of the site, Social Blades or something? Let me check if there's a, I think I've been at 166 forever. Or 162. 162? I don't know. I doubt that I've gained any, but we'll see. Can I enter username? Jeranism. But I haven't been paying attention either, so maybe 10,000 people signed up. I don't know. Where's the subs? 165? Maybe I did gain 3. I wonder if it shows that. That's views, subscribers. So it shows, oh, you can't see that. Hello. There we go. Social Blade here. You can see these dates. Yeah. I can't go back further than that, but so it looks like I have gained some. I was at 164 on the 4th, 165 now, I guess. And that's my earnings. Wow. Great. And I lost 130,000 views here. Nice though. Yeah, I don't know. That's what it says. All right, let's get out of there. Let's go back to here. Did we get a new picture yet? Nope, we're still at 1720. Let's try a refresh. Oh, wait. So this is a 1730 picture. So we're at 25 minutes. So maybe it was 35 minutes, 34, 33, somewhere in there. Again, but I've shown before too that you can get in here and actually see the stitch lines, and they've gotten good at getting rid of them. You can't see them anymore, but all you need to do is go back to 2019 or something, and I believe that they can be seen then. And there's just little purple stitch lines every once in a while. Come on, let's see if let's go back further than that, or let's see if I see them. But again, it doesn't mean much. It just, oh, there it is. You can see right here. So I don't know if you can see it. People can never see on the computer because it's doubled. But there's a purple stitch line here, and everywhere you go, you'll see it. It's just like they take strip data, and then there's one right here, going right across this cloud. Right across this cloud. So those have been done away with. They no longer have those. If you go to current dates, you won't find stitch lines anymore. They've somehow learned to get rid of them. So there's no more purple lines there. But yeah, I just don't know. This does not look, I don't know. One thing I wish flat earthers would stop saying though is that they're like, oh, just show us a boat upside down. Just show. I'm like, don't say that, because you can just turn a camera upside down. Like, how would you know that it's not? Like, if they show a boat and then flip the camera upside down, you'd be like, here's your boat upside down. You happy? And you'd be like, well, that's not. So what do we mean then? But you could just flip the camera sideways and show a sideways boat. So that doesn't mean anything. So I don't know why they asked for that. All right, let's go to the next one. How can we explain emergency landings with the globe? They actually work fine. As I've told you, Austin and I took Banjo aside and told him that his emergency landing book was wrong. And we showed him why. It's because he draws plane paths on a globe, but a 2D globe. Well, that's not correct. They believe it's a 3D globe, so that they take great circle routes. Banjo just draws like Japan to San Francisco and draws a straight line that goes across Hawaii, but that's not the way. So it's a straw man, right? So if you go a great circle map, or what do they have? Something like that. Great circle map. Right. So if your Banjo would just take this picture, right, and he would draw a line like from Japan to San Francisco like this. And then he would say, but it did an emergency landing up here, so therefore shouldn't it have gone here? But that's not what, that's a straw man, because if we, can you not just place a point? No. So if we just only see Japan, is that how you do this? I don't even know how to do it. Name of city, Tokyo. Come on. Can you make this easier on me? Thank you. So if we go Tokyo and to SFO, go. So that's the route that it takes. So then again, now if you look at it and you say, well, this landed in Alaska instead of Hawaii, it makes sense. But if you just drew a line here, then you could get people to say, well, shouldn't it be in Hawaii instead of Alaska? So again, that's just the Great Circle route. On an AE map, if you kind of look top down, it would just be a straight line. But again, that's the Great Circle map. Grave Refallen says, after experiencing what it is like to be a glober, why do you think flat earthers hold on to their beliefs so hard when faced with facts? Because the lies. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of, and then when, like I said, none of the globe channels are bringing any flat earthers to your side. There's a reason why no flat earthers gone over. It's because there isn't anything offered from that side that is redeemable or that seems to be anything other than name calling or, setting up debates against people no one's ever heard of. I think Toon just finds random people on Facebook and then destroys them in debates. And, we don't see that and go like, oh, he's so smart. We see that as like picking on people or just purposely setting things up to have a certain result. So again, it's just that, there's not anything attractive about the globe that makes anybody say, oh, I need to go back and find the globe, because it's lies and it's misdirection. And then you don't see NASA doing anything. You see them getting $81 million a day, which is a lot of money, no matter what anybody says, to continue to produce not a lot. And then you see, these private companies taking off now, and you're like, well, what's been going on? What has NASA been doing? Have you seen Flatwork's video on Antarctica being a separate continent that is much bigger? He called it the Zetetic map. Antarctica is not the wall. So the problem with that is that people go to Antarctica and they all are at different bases and they can all go to the South Pole by going to the lowest part of the orbit of the sun. So it can't be what you're saying, because you can leave South Africa, go to Antarctica. You can leave Australia and go to Antarctica. You can leave South America and go to Antarctica. And all those people would converge on one point based on the sun. So it's just, I mean, it's a wish and a hope. Hola, brother. What do you think of the biblical flat earth, amigo? I never was a Bible person anyway, so it doesn't bother me either way. I don't think that the Bible necessarily says the earth is flat, although the stamped as a seal, the wax seal thing is pretty close. But for the most part, it definitely says it doesn't move, and it stands firm, and it's, well, I mean, it also does say that God drew a compass of bounds. So, I mean, that is kind of flat earth. But I think the Bible was written by people at a certain time, and they would have written about what they thought the earth was at that time. So it wouldn't surprise me. Why is Elizabeth hiding? What do you mean she's hiding? Isn't she always on? I think she's at Clubhouse every night. So I don't know what you mean by hiding. She's there. Why is Elizabeth hiding that she is Jewish? Why would it matter? Is she? I don't know. I told her that I heard that Anne Frank was her aunt or something. Somebody told me that. Your subs went up after TFE. How many more subs have you gotten since then? It looks like, what did it say, 165? So 3,000. Jaren, thank you, Mr. Medical. Shovelhead Steve, you've come this far. Why stop here? Stop what? Well, no, I mean, it depends. I mean, if the channel's supported, then I'll continue on. If not, then I realize why. Jaren, space is fake. What is Starlink? What is powering Starlink if it isn't in orbit? That's why I said I believe orbits do exist. I don't know. I don't have any explanation for Starlink other than exactly what they say. And it worked really well. I'm like even shocked at that. I'm like, shouldn't we just have like one thing that powers the whole city then with Wi-Fi? I don't understand why I can't go to my front grass with Wi-Fi. I lose it. Not a question, just showing my support for the truth. Thank you. Appreciate that, Roger. Roger that. I think so. Catfish and Whitetail says, I'm pumping the brakes on Flat Earth. Hey, we got somebody else. All right. Well, if you need somebody, reach out. Will you have Awake Souls on? Probably not. I don't see a reason to. Those guys have been very, very rude, and you don't treat other human beings like that. So, sorry. But again, you guys use Andrew Marsh's model, the one I showed. You just use it on a flat land, which I've already claimed that the globe has that area flat too. You just call it a flat Earth. But again, you have the same issue that you're magically placing suns exactly where the globe says they will be. And then you say it's rising out of the ground. So, I mean, come on. That doesn't even make sense. Is gravity true now? Geez, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I mean, there could be other reasons for it. I think that there's an electrogravitic group that seems to feel like they have the right answer. That would seem to make more sense to me than the idea that I can still hold something up and it does not feel like there's any force pulling it to the ground. It feels like there's weight. The item has weight, and therefore it causes it to go to the ground. Now, I get it. They would just say, well, the weight comes from gravity. I get it. Maybe I can do some sort of a test. I don't know what, but I'm not worried about it. It does. Like I said, I was worried about these things when I thought they were deceptions. Now that I realize it's probably not a deception as far as that goes, it's not really that important to me. Sorry. Now what, Jaren, take a minute thinking the way you used to think, and you were not the one to go to Antarctica and saw all these videos. Would you accept these as proof or try and find flaws? No, I mean, at a certain level, when there's enough evidence, you stop that. So it's like why I don't question a baseball game or something, right? There's a lot of cameras, and they're all live, and they're all showing different angles. It'd be very difficult to fake that. Just like but when you have like one camera at an event, let's say, the NASA thing, or India's going to land a rover on something. There's only one feed. And so, yeah, that I can question because that'd be very easy to fake. But to do what we did in Antarctica in real time with 360 cameras, with live streaming, is impossible to fake. So you just couldn't do it. And that should be enough for people to recognize. And I would be in that camp. If it was other people, but they had as much evidence as we do, like there's no way you can watch my chest cam footage or the live stream and be like, that was fake. So again, go watch the moon landing. That could be said to be fake. Nick, what's next? To go through some of my videos and then to kind of clean up the channel and continue searching for truth. I mean, that's what I want. That's what I need. That's what I feel like I've gotten to that point, at least for this subject. It took 10 years, and I'm maybe a little bit shell-shocked about going into another subject if it might take that long. Don't want to do that. Don't want to spend 10 years searching again. Why don't you just quit and stop dragging it out? Quit what? Flat Earth? I have. What do you mean? Or quit YouTube? I don't think you have to quit YouTube because you were wrong. But I think a lot of people are wrong all the time. They don't admit it. At least I admitted it. So maybe people will see value in that. Maybe they won't. But again, I'll only be here as long as people support the channel. So if you don't like the channel, you want me to go away, don't support the channel. Do you believe in space? I believe there is a place called space that the stars and the moon and the sun reside in. Yep. What is the length of a Home Depot as our Aussie Bunnings have reached 300 meters? I forgot what I figured out. The length of a Home Depot, so whatever, 17 of them to equal 1 mile. So 17, and we just did this online one day. It could be off, but 5280 divided by 17 is 310. So yeah, it's about 100 yards lengthwise. What is your take on the bullshit explanation Eric DeBay gave for the 24-hour sun? The guy's a joke. The guy's a flip-flopper. He's going to basically do whatever it takes to keep his baby alive. He believes in the flat earth and is going to flip-flop on you, change his 200 proofs, then claim it was fake, then claim it doesn't matter. You should expect that. It's not surprising. In the light of all this BS negativity, did you build a snow dick in Antarctica? I'm not... Ted, thank you for that. No, I didn't take any pictures of the snow dick, if that's what you're asking. Have you seen a 1 hour and 5 minute single take video? You're of the ISS. 2 cameras. There is also a 33-minute one. That baffles me that you think that that's not possible to be fake, though. So you don't think that, like, there's a OK Go music video where they're in a parabolic flight, but the whole video is one take or one piece. So there is ways to make it look like continuous film, but it's not. So I have seen what you're talking about, but I also can easily say it could be fake. Easily. It wasn't live. There's nothing live from there. So granted, they might say it's live, or they'll have children on when it's live, but they'll never, like I asked, one girl, Carrie, she has friends with NASA and friends that are astronauts, and she knows that I'm well behaved, and I told her, let me just talk to an astronaut on the ISS like they do with children. Why wouldn't they let me talk to them? Where I'll be able to ask them to do things that would prove that they're up there. And she's like, oh, they'll do that. And then she called back the next day and she's like, okay, you and I might have different reasons for this, but they say no. So I'm like, of course. So again, they do it with children, but they won't really do it with adults, like letting them ask questions. Because I mean, let's be honest, those astronauts are not very smart. I mean, go watch any interview with any astronaut. They talk like they are me. And I could do an equal job talking as an astronaut. Well, we have been doing a lot of science up here, and it really is going to help propel the Earth forward with knowledge, with growth in our understandings, in our complete know-how of how the body works and how science works, and we just keep banging out the science. That's what they literally say. They never like give you actually data, like what are we doing? Like they've been up there 21 years, 22 years, 23 years. I don't even know. I think I've been saying 21 years the entire time I've been on YouTube. Let me look up at ISS. ISS in orbit, how long? That's funny because I think I have been saying 21 years for the whole time. So let's see the ISS. When did it go up? No, that's not what I asked. When was the ISS? ISS when built? What? No, ISS. Built. Thank you. My bad. The main construction was completed between 1998 and 2011. It's not what I was asking. I don't know what it is. How long has the ISS been in orbit? My main point here is that they don't actually produce anything. Space has been in orbit since 1998, so now we're looking 27 years. And I don't think you could show me one thing that it's been good for. Show me something that's been discovered because of the science these great people are doing on board. They're just talking to children and racing around in monkey suits and doing dumbass dances. Do I still have that? Where did I put that? Oh man, if I had that right now, it'd be hilarious. Let me see if I have something. Where did I put it? I'm trying to think. Somebody sent it to me, and did I save it? Would it be here? It's so funny if I can find it. Let me look. If it's they did like this Christmas thing. It was so bad. Is it here? Man, nope, I don't see it. They just did a Christmas thing just recently. Let me go here. Unsorted. Come on, where you at? Let me see if it's in here. Best shuffle, the Sunday track. I keep laughing when I see Dean Odell, just picturing him saying all the things he was saying. Like, I mean, that is just the most ridiculous position ever to take. Because think about how it cannot be disproven. Now he's just going to claim that Satan did it. I mean, give me a break. But, I mean, what do you expect? The same guy said that God told him 3 days before 9/11 that a plane would be hitting the buildings in New York. And he didn't tell anybody. And then, oh no, he says he even preached about it, even though no one's ever found that actual video of him doing that. But yeah, but God talks to Dean Odell. So he probably does send Satan to fool Dean Odell as well. I can see that happening. I'm just seeing if I can find this. Man, I don't remember where I saw it. It was so bad. I don't have it. Critical Think, that was there. Space Station Astronauts. Yes, this is it. I found it. I'm so happy. I love finding things. Look at this joke. This is so bad. Watch this. Oh, shoot. I got to turn this on. We got to go with YouTube solo. Turn off the thumbnail. This is so bad. It's 2 minutes just to watch it.
Welcome to the International Space Station as we get ready for the Christmas holidays. It's a great time of year up here. We get to spend it with all of our...
I mean, these guys are just this guy here seriously has mental problems. They seriously are not smart people. They tell us that 1 out of 4,000 people who apply at NASA get picked as astronauts. This is the 1 out of 4,000. This guy, this girl. Show me the other 3,999. There's no way. It's a lie. I mean,
family up on the International Space Station. There's 7 of us up here, and so we're going to get to enjoy company together. And one of the best things that I like about Christmas is the preparation and just getting ready, the anticipation, everybody getting...
You know, we pay like a huge price for every pound that goes to the ISS. So we send up Christmas decorations. Give me a fucking break.
Together and preparing stuff and just getting ready for the holiday. And a couple little things we have here with us to just prepare, which will be sort of fun in a couple days.
Sort of fun, yeah. Wow, it's just really cool.
You know, in Christmas time, the holiday season, it's about spending time with friends and family and loved ones.
It is, yeah.
You know, this year we're going to be in orbit away from them. So we want to send our heartfelt Merry Christmas, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday. Want to also mention that, you know, we're not the only ones that are going to spend time away from our families over the holidays. There's a huge team on the ground that's going to support us in mission controls around the globe over the holidays, and I want to thank them for the sacrifices that they're making. Together, we work hand in hand with the ground every day, and over the holidays, we keep this mission going. Merry Christmas.
And Christmas is synonymous with food and feasting, and boy, do we have a feast packaged up here.
That was his part.
And of course, Christmas is Christ. Hallelujah. A Savior is born.
So from all of us to all of you, Merry Christmas.
I mean, is that not the cream of the crop or what? just the highest class people I've ever seen. Sorry, I find that hilarious. It's just funny. Hey, Jaron, Hey, Jaron, so you think now that you're a Globe Earther, you'll get more Globe Earther subscribers? And what would you do if you get more than Globe Earth subs? Would you then be a full-fledged Glober? No. I told you I don't see any reason to teach the Globe. I'm showing you that the Globe makes the predictions and the Flat Earth cannot. So hopefully from that, people would be able to choose whether they should continue being a Flat Earther. Now, maybe they know something I don't, or maybe they see a way around that. I don't think that that's possible. But no, I will never be a Glober. I'll never be like Toon, like FTFE. I just won't be that. I mean, if I do try and teach something or explain something, it will never be like that. So I don't treat people like they're scumbags just because they are mistaken about some things. That's what those guys do. They think that it's okay to treat people like less than human. And, I kind of see the same thing. I'm not saying flat earthers don't feel that way, but it's not my cup of tea. I don't treat people like that. Jaron, would you be willing to participate in a formal educational course about astronomy, even a digital one? I don't know if I really have time to be doing that, but I mean, I'd be open to it. Why not speak to Planet Peterson about evolution? Could be an interesting conversation to stream. Never even heard of him and never been approached by him or so. I don't know why I would do that. What's your thoughts on the dual pole magnetic 24-hour sun model with Antarctica as a separate continent, switching its path on the equinoxes twice a year, but on the Zetetic map, but on not the Brian Leakey map? I'd have to see it. Wouldn't it be the same thing? How are you having the sunrise in the east for the continents of Asia and Russia, and not that those are continents, but you know what I'm saying, and India? I can't even picture that. So you have the north and the south, and then if you have the continents laid out correctly, then the southern sun would come up on the west side. So if I'm wrong, I would have to check your channel to see what you're talking about. Bro, your 24-hour sun video live in the South Pole has been laughed at. Hold on. Where? Okay. Bro, your 24-hour sun video live in the South Pole has been laughed at FE community. Did you ever share the thought with British Flat Earth before taking the video? I don't even know what you're talking about. Your 24-hour sun video live in the South Pole. I haven't even released mine yet. What do you mean? Has been laughed at FE community. Did you ever share the thought with British Flat Earth before taking the video? I don't know yet. Any idea what you're talking about? Sorry. Thinking about the moon will examine the Earth's... Thinking about it, the moon will explain the Earth's rotation. If the moon was traveling around the Earth each day, it would go from new moon to full moon to new moon again in one day. Not in 1 month. What? No, because the sun would be going around the Earth as well. So I don't know what you mean. The sun and moon would be orbiting. The moon would be 50 minutes behind. So I don't think you're right. You're dropping flat Earth, but what if the 24-hour sun works on both models? Because it makes sense to me that it should be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Yeah, this is what I get from a lot of people. What you're saying is just words. So show me. One person would be able to show me. You can't show me that. You're just saying you're dropping the flat Earth because, and then you gave me your opinion that you think it works, but it doesn't. So it has to match reality. So show me, and I'll be happy to go back to being a flat earther, but there's no way. We already know it can't because the sun can't change directions. I appreciate your intellectual honesty, but I would like to make a point. If you had not gone to Antarctica, would you not be supporting all the different comments about fake CGI? No, I would not. I would not. And if you go back to my channel, find where I've done that without doing any full research on it. Again, when you're talking about the moon landing, that's one video. So that's way different. When you're talking about 10 videos with 360 cameras and with live streams, totally different. Like, we were live in Antarctica. Did NASA go live from the moon? Think about those things. All the other Michelson-Morley repeated experiments showed Earth was not moving, but the sky. Do you really believe the apparatus would shrink every time it tested in different Atmos conditions? No. That's why I said I don't believe that we're spinning. So I do believe those experiments did show that the Earth cannot be measured to move. Great resource if you wish to look into the subject. What? I don't know what that means. Great resource if you wish to look. Did you already say something and I missed what you said? I'll check back on that. Bob proved the rotation 3 times. Again, that device, you have to enter in where you're at on the Earth. You have to enter in your longitude and latitude, and then it returns a turn to 15 degrees. That's not very impressive to me. When you look back at behind the curve experiments, do you think you should have come to the conclusion sooner? No. Now, behind the curve is one of the reasons I was a flat earther longer. They misrepresented my experiment. They took one of 20 observations and called it fact. Where if I would have ever done that, I would have gotten hung by you guys. If I would have taken one of the 20 observations and then made a video about it and said, look, I proved flat earth, you guys would have thought it was hilarious. But because they took one and said it proved globe, you all backed them and said Jaron proved a globe. So it just pushed me into flat earth even further. Since you now redefine the shape of the earth, how about the other stuff you kind of get wrong? I'm all for it. I don't know which items you're talking about though. How will you completely ignore the stereographic model? Because it's not real. Those guys are just so lost. They don't even understand. You're just doing the same thing as Alonzo and all those guys. The sun, you're placing it wherever the globe says it would be. So our options are stereographic, virtual reality, pretend land, where suns come in and out of the ground, or the globe, which describes it. I'm still in at $5 a month. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you. Jana, again, do you believe in the toroidal magnetic field and how it works? Yes, but I don't think it explains the sun and never will be able to explain the sun. Falsification is independent of replacement. The globe has been falsified. Seeing an observation in the sky doesn't mean a globe. No curve or spin has. So again, you're repeating something that's been said. Falsification independent of replacement. I get that. So you say the globe has been falsified. So tell me how it's been falsified. Because do you recognize then that the flat Earth has been falsified? The flat Earth map. There is no map anymore. There is no model. Have you talked to Austin since leaving flat Earth? We've talked. I mean, he knows my position. He understands it. He accepts it. He doesn't agree, but he thinks there's still enough wrong with the globe that could mean that it's false. But I just feel the opposite. I feel there's enough wrong with the flat Earth that it will always be false. So we're still friends. If we see the sky within our own curved grid of vision, wouldn't that apply to the sun? There are unclassified documents of the firmament. So yes, but you're missing the point. So we see a curved vision. Okay, great. We have our personal atmospheric dome. Great. But nothing calls for the sun to be 30,000 miles away and appear in my dome. So I've always described the dome as the sun gets closer to it, then you would see it rise in your personal dome, and then you'd see it set in your personal dome as it took off. But there's no rhyme or reason or understanding of why magically the sun appears in your dome when it's way across the other side of the earth. It would be magic. So again, you can believe in magic if you want, but there is a model that actually makes those predictions without needing to invoke magic. Now, you might say, well, Jaron, it invokes a sphere Earth and flying through space. I get it, but I don't understand how we would feel okay with saying, oh, it's magic instead, when there's a model that predicts it. I appreciate your honesty. I'm pumping the brakes right now as far as flat Earth. I still believe we're in the center somehow. I believe that too. Simply put, it's just back to the drawing board, like you said. Exactly. Thank you for understanding. 7 minutes, I'm going to be out here. I love globes. Thank you. I'm not sure I can say the same, but are you willing to research how big Saturn is? How would you ever figure that out? All I'm saying is that you still have a lot to learn to do despite accepting the globe as an Earth. Planets are massive. Yeah, I get that, but I don't know what you mean by research. How are you going to research whether it's true or not? How are you going to do that? And compare it to what? To what they say? How would that be research? There are videos and photos of the full moon eclipsing by a smaller dark orb when the sun is rising next to it. So how can it be the sun eclipsing the moon? Wait, what? There are videos and photos of the full moon eclipsed by a smaller dark orb while the sun is rising next to it. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. If it's a full moon, then the sun rises, then the sun is opposite it. So it can't be next to it. So show me the images you're talking about. That doesn't seem right at all. If it's not flat, why all the lies and fake photos? We can't. I have no idea. But again, that's like asking me why the lie. I'm not lying to you. So I can't tell you why they lie. I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of it is. But it's not okay to say because they lie, then it means that the Earth is flat, even though there's no map or model or way that it could work. Right? So we just have to be smart enough about the decisions we make. That's all. What do you think of the firmament now? I have to think about it. I don't think I've thought enough about it. Sorry. Have you talked to Eric DeBay in person? I've never even talked to him on the phone. No. See here. What jobs did you apply to? A casino. 2 different jobs at a casino. Are you going to measure the distance, the ISS, with Red's rhetoric? The ISS, I've already proven to myself, at least, whatever's up there is moving at 17,000 to 19,000 miles per hour. I've only questioned whether there's people in it, so I don't think we can measure that with Red. But as far as its distance, well, I'm assuming it has to be the distance that they would say. I don't know how it could be. It can't be closer. If it's closer, it would be going faster, and then it would be in the atmosphere, and then it would not work at all. So I don't know. Are you a glover now? Nope, never liked gloves. No. Are you a glober now? It depends what you mean by a glober. No, I will never be a glober. By a glober, I mean somebody who is like a staunch proponent of the globe, pushes the globe. I believe that that's science jobs and education's jobs, not YouTubers. Check no fanfare's old model of the stars that works for the sun as well. No 180-degree bend necessary. That makes no sense, Kevin. I mean, think about what you're saying. So you're saying there's a model that can show the sun where it's supposed to be. No 180-degree bend necessary. How would that be possible? How could it be above Australia and behind somebody in Antarctica at the same time? Jaren, you really need to lose the personal incredulity. Just because you don't get it doesn't make it wrong. I agree. But I don't have to lose anything. So thank you for that. Just saying you do realize all the other flat earthers are doing what you used to do, right? Deny, deny, deny. That's what they're doing. Yeah, I don't think that that's the case. So again, they are taking something that is easily seen to be real and true and calling it fake. So you might think, oh, Jaren, you did the same thing, but what? Show me what I did. You're talking about an India landing on the moon, or the stupid NASA thinking they have a remote control car on Mars. Big difference. We don't even get to see the remote control car landing on Mars. They just get a cartoon that shows wires coming down, a rope. It drops a little craft. The craft drops, turns into a ball, bounces on the surface. That didn't happen. So you guys, this is the problem, is you guys aren't skeptical anymore. Science believers will let them say anything. You believe that they sent something and it crashed into an asteroid and picked up rocks and brought it back to Earth. Give me a break. How did Hawking fake experiment? First time I heard about this. Easy to see. Go to the Genius, Stephen Hawking Genius. I don't know if I can find it off. Stephen Hawking Genius. I just need to go to my own channel, really. This show here, Stephen Hawking Genius, you'll find some liars. This is one girl here. Oh, no. So first of all, they say it's everyday people that are going to be proving the shape of the Earth. And they have one girl who's a scientist who claims to not be a scientist. Is it this one? Oh, I think you can't. Yes. Please. Oh, wow. That never happens. I've never been able to watch this live. Okay, that's cool. So I'll show you. Get over there. Where are we at? Is this the wrong episode? No, I don't remember if this is the right one. Oh, that's another one. I mean, fake experiment there too. Okay, so this is the Genius. You can see it. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. Let me get this up. Browser. This one. There you go. It's not very good. Let me do this one. See this. All right. This is a major point because you need to understand that this is a video that was seen by hundreds of millions of people. PBS special, where do we live, all this stuff. And once you are a scientific entity and you lie and fake an experiment, just so you know, it just causes every flat earther to feel 100% secure in their position. Why would they question it? By the way, this girl here, her name's Kat Bobineau, and she says in this very film, and I just did it. I'm not a scientist, but it was really cool that I was able to do that. And you know what her job is? She's a scientist. So she went on national TV and lied by saying she's not a scientist for whatever reason. Like, can you imagine getting a script that says, I'm not a scientist when you're a scientist? Wouldn't you say? And then she has videos on YouTube of her saying, hi, my name is Kat Bobineau, and I am a scientist. And these are done before the video. So bad. Oh, that's it right there, isn't it? What she says it or no? Kind of remember. Anyway, so there's this helicopter. This is a completely fake scene. Okay, I'll show you how it's fake. But there's other videos on YouTube that do a better job of basically lining it up next to each other. This is completely faked. All these people are faking this event because I'll show you here as it comes down. And then watch carefully because I'm just going to show you. Okay, so that helicopter's coming down, about to go behind the water, right? I want you to see something here. So notice these 3 birds. Okay, these 3 birds are flying by. Okay, they're still there. 3 birds. Okay. And let me actually rewind it just a second. I'll show you something else. Oh, there were those birds. Okay, so let's watch these 3 birds. So we watch the helicopters there. It hides behind the curvature of the earth. Here's these 3 birds. So let's see. If I stop them right in the middle of the... Oh, that was bad. Shoot. I gotta go backwards now. I wanted to try and stop them at somewhere. Let me see. Shoot, I gotta go back far enough? Oh, here we go. Just so I can show you. There's other videos I could find that show you it side by side so you can see that what I'm about to show you. But this is a problem. This is, I said that I vowed to find out from PBS why they did this. And I tried to talk to this guy. He didn't want to talk to me. I've reached out to Joy NG, reached out to this liar. She didn't want to talk to me. She blocked me on Twitter because they're liars. So, I mean, you know, what are you going to do? So, whoop, did I miss it? Hold on, let me go back to where we were. Where's that helicopter land? Okay. So here, I'm just going to stop those 3 birds, try to stop them in the middle of that crosshairs so we can see something. Okay. So just notice we get a dark spot over here, a dark line here, and a little mark here. Just kind of remember that. Okay. So then they continue on the observation now, and they say rise up, and we'll tell you when we're above the horizon. You can tell us when you see us. So now it's rising up, and I'll show you that they actually used a CGI helicopter. There's no other explanation because the scenes are both faked. I'll show you. As this rises, and I think that they did this on purpose. They do this on purpose so that flat earthers attach themselves to it, and there's more infighting. It's all, and there's no way you did this accidentally. Let me show you. So now she's rising up. Now we see this guy looking for the helicopter to rise. There it comes now. You'll notice that we've got 3 birds again. You'll notice that if I, shoot. Oh, so you can't stop it there. When people put side by side, it's the exact same scene. Now, it's not the same scene because in this one, when the birds go by, the helicopter can be seen. But if we go back to just where we were, I should look at the time. So picture, we see this helicopter, we see the 3 birds, and look at like this dark line here, maybe this dark line here. But you'll notice that if we go back, the helicopter is now going to be missing when those birds are right there because it's the same scene of the water. So what they did was they used a CGI helicopter. Now I know you might be thinking this is crazy, Jaren's crazy. No, this is fact. Okay, so for instance here, when they show that go behind the water, that's CGI because remember now here's these 3 birds and the helicopter's not there, but the helicopter was there in the other scene. It's the same 3 birds. I mean, I wonder how I can't do it I would have to record the screen and show you. But anyway, I'm trying to remember the guy's name of the channel that has it. What is the name of that channel? It's, can't remember the name of the channel. But anyway, if anybody does this, you can go, I'll put this link into t.me/Jeranism links. Please go and do it yourself. And you will see that they are identical scenes, meaning the water stays identical. The ocean doesn't change. Meaning if you track if you put it next to the scene with the helicopter there, the water's identical. It doesn't change. So this part of the scene has been clipped out, and then they faked a CGI helicopter going behind it. So if you think that's okay to do, if you think science is making a good decision by lying in the program that's supposed to prove the curvature of the earth, then you're part of the problem. Okay, they just, again, we couldn't do it that far. Let's go back a little bit further, see if we can get it. But anyway, I don't want to, is this where she says, no. So that girl's the one that says like, I'm not a scientist, but, and then she is a scientist. And then by the way, this girl here, another regular person, her name's Joy NG. She's the head of science storytelling at Goddard, NASA. So whoever came up with this idea is just idiots. Like, we don't tell people it's going to be 3 ordinary people, and then this guy's a teacher, scientist who lies and says she's not a scientist. Joy NG is the head of visual storytelling at NASA Goddard. And they all lied. They're all liars. They won't talk to me. None of them. Why? Because they would have to explain why they faked the helicopter behind the water. They're not going to do that. They're not going to talk to me. So again, I think it was done on purpose, or it is possible that they didn't realize that this telescope is 3 feet high. And so the actual curvature that should be over 6 miles would be only 10 feet. So they may have got out there and they're just so dumb that they're like, oh, well, it should be hidden by 24 feet. They couldn't figure it out, so they just said, we'll just fake it. Because they never mentioned, when they raise the helicopter up, they say, what height are you? We can see you now. And the guy looks at his altimeter and says 24 feet. It's so ridiculous. Think about that. The altimeter doesn't tell you 24 feet. It's not like in single digits, first of all. Second of all, 24 feet is just because they took 6 miles. The curvature over 6 miles is 24 feet. So do you see what they did? So then, but the real curvature, because they didn't take in the height of the camera, is 10 feet. So they would never be able to hide a helicopter behind it anyway. So anyway, but the way that you can prove, just trying to get these, where's those 3 birdies? Come on, 3 birds. Okay. So I stopped it there. Just kind of take a look at the water. Maybe look at this dark spot here. And if you ever put them next to each other, we'll try and go to, oops, that was a good right there. Okay, let's see if we see him again. That's the wrong one. I'll go a little forward. He says, oh yeah, I see you. Tell me how high you are. They're like 24 feet. Oh boy. I said, can you see us landing? But he's just lying through his teeth because he says, and then it disappeared behind the water. Well, then if it disappeared behind the water, why don't we have a real image of it? Why did you fake it? So that's a problem. Nat Geo did an optical illusion and lied to people about the shape of the Earth. And these are like your one chance. Like, you know, how many presentations has there been to prove the curvature of the Earth on TV? This was seen by hundreds of millions of people, and yet it's a lie. Complete and total fabrication. He says, let me know when you can see us. And then he says, okay, I can see you. And then he's like, how high are we? 24 feet. Let's see if we can get this birds there. It's going to be tough to get them at the same spot. Okay, there you go. Perfect. See, these are the same 3 birds, the same spot. The water's identical. Just don't take my word for it. Go look at it yourself. The water's identical. Yet in this scene, there is a helicopter. In the other scene, there was not. How could the water be identical, the birds be identical, but there's a helicopter in one and not in the other? That's called faking science, and it's the absolute worst thing you could do because it creates distrust. Same thing of telling people to trust the science, that they won't, give people diseases or viruses if they take a vaccine, but then you find out after, oops, we were wrong. You do. Okay, well then don't lie to people and don't tell us to trust the science. If the science ends up being wrong, what do you think's going to happen from that? So this is just not intelligent human beings that think that that's the way to do it. All right, I've got to head out. I'm going to get my super chats real quick here, and then I got to go. Let's see here. All right, where are we at here? So have you gained or lost subs since TFE? We gamed, yes. How does your wife take the abandonment of the flat earth, and does she agree with your new position? 100%. Yep. We talked about it before we walked through it. I think the easiest way for me to really figure out or explain it to her was, why would we ever see the sun south of the Tropic of Capricorn? That right there should end it. I mean, if you're walking from Colorado down south, you should walk through the United States. The sun's over your head. Walk through the equator, sun's over your head. Walk down to the Tropic of Capricorn. The sun's either over your head or behind you. As soon as you get past that tropic, the sun can never be in front of you. It's behind you. That's the way the world works, right? But no, keep walking and the sun comes from the right and goes in front of you. What? Well, there's only one model that can explain that. If a sphere, why fake it with NASA? The plan? I don't know. Fake what? Fake the sphere? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of options. What if the Earth is, there's a limit to how far we can get away from the Earth? Maybe it's like 250 miles, 300 miles, whatever. And maybe there's even a shell there or something. I don't know. I'm just saying that then they wouldn't get far enough. They couldn't get far enough away from the Earth to take a picture. So they would have to take strip data, put it together, and then you'd have Robert Simmons saying that we have to take the strip data and put it on a ball to make it look like what the people would think a ball would look like. Kind of works. Why was it just to deceive the Ruskies and things got out of hand and they had to keep up the charade and risk national security? I don't know about that. I think that Russia was involved in the moon thing because I've talked to Russians and you ask them what they learn in school and they learn that the Russia was first in space, first female, first astronaut, first dog, first satellite. They got first everything. And then they knew that going to the moon wouldn't be worth it. So they chose not to. And the United States spent all this money on going to the moon for no reason. So each country gets to tell their own story that is like a rah-rah Americana or, Russian pride, whatever. So both, it seems like it's pretty set up. Did you not promote Lisbeth's new channel? I did. Did somebody ask me if I was hiding? Is she's hiding or something? Did you not promote Lisbeth's new channel? I did. And she got enough subs so they can start going live. She's a friend. She'll always be a friend forever. We had a great trip together. Fun fact, a debate occurred in NASA about taking any TV camera on the LEM. It was considered extra weight. We got lucky with having one TV camera. Yeah, but come on, you got to think about the others. They took a golf club secretly. So, this is where you guys are that's a stretch that's like not good to go on. Like, you shouldn't say that because they've actually taken things supposedly on the LEM. So that it wasn't like, oh, we can't bring another camera, but this guy can fake or secretly bring a golf club. That's the story. It's stupid. Jaron, how can the experiment show Earth doesn't move when it assumed Earth was in translation motion through the ether? That's what they tested. So then why would Einstein say the things he said? Why would, it seems to me that they thought that the Earth was traveling through the ether, but if it's not, then you're saying that they shouldn't detect a speed? You still have different directions. If you put the beams going one way versus the other, you have to get a different speed. And they didn't get one. Well, they got a small one, but not nearly enough that they need. Hold on, I lost this now. Oh, I see it. Thank you for the 2,500 clip points or something. I don't know. Thank you, Esteban. Joshua McTaggart says, you remember B when told everyone that windows in from the airplane Antarctica and that it was, You remember B when told everyone that windows in from the airplane Antarctica that it was so the passengers couldn't look outside. Do I remember saying that? Yes. You mean that they used to take the military planes? They just started flying the 757 down there. So most of the planes that go down there are without windows, or were. Here's my video on the Stephen Hawking fakery. Thank you, Ruhif. But you don't have any reason, do you? For fuck's sake. Nice start. And I think Ruhif would agree with me that this is just not smart. Is that the whole video? Oh, I thought that was going to be the whole video. Just that word on there. So you show it side by side or no? Oh, it does. Okay. So you can see here. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Ruhif doing good work. So he's showing here that we have a helicopter and no helicopter. Yet if you look at the water, as he plays it here, the water is identical. So again, it is what it is. I would love to talk to somebody just to get them to give an answer as to, oh, well, we did have the footage, but we lost it, or we got out there and we realized that we couldn't get the helicopter to hide behind the water, so here comes those birds. Wait, what happened there? Did you show it? Didn't look like you showed it being the same. Wait, what? Is this April Fool's or something? What's going on here?
The shape of the water is also very similar. So the bottom half is certainly the same.
Okay,
same clip. Let's have a look in slow motion.
Move it this way a little bit. It's because I'm not lined up very well, that's why. But
busted custard. All right. So the actual source of this video is not the Discovery Channel itself. It's this guy, Alex Chertnik, published a few years ago.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you, Ruha, for at least being honest and saying that the bottom half of the video is the same for whatever reason. But again, my wisdom words to science would be, don't do that. Just don't do that, because you're actually creating more of a problem. Like, nobody saw that video and said, I'm now no longer a flat earther. You may have reconfirmed to people who believed in the globe, like, oh, I watched it and I saw how we became global leaders, whatever. But what you did was you actually created more flat earthers. It's been something I've been able to talk about. Others have been able to talk about. Others have been able to point to. It doesn't make a lot of sense, considering it's kind of one of the only shows or programs that tried to prove it. So don't do that. That's my only word of advice. Flat or not, you're a real ass nigga. Yeah, November. Hopefully you're still my friend. We'll talk tomorrow. Hopefully you guys come by and don't be too mean to me. But I'm ready for it. And then we'll get another member of the community after that. All right, we are heading out. I told people I'd do 3 hours, and I did 3:45. Bless it. But hopefully you feel like we did cover each of those topics. Hopefully they make sense to you. Hopefully you can pass this on to a flat earther. And that's why I think that the path of the sun, which is known above the tropics, above the equator, there's no question about that. We can't say that that's not happening, even though other flat earthers are going to tell you that it's apparent, or going to try and get you to think that it's apparent or something. You can think that if you want, but we know we can send people out there. We can actually observe this, that the sun is above those people's heads. On June 21st, everybody stand around the Tropic of Cancer and it'll be above their heads. Look at Lahaina noon, which is when the sun is above Lahaina and there's no shadow. So we know the sun is above. It doesn't matter what the sun is, and it doesn't matter how far away it is. The sun could be 9 million miles, 90 miles, 900 million miles, doesn't matter. It's still above the heads of those people. So we know that's the path. So once you know that, then we can see what I showed you about the curving to the left of the Tropic of Capricorn. That only works on a globe. On a flat Earth, we need to have, looking west from Punta Arenas, both the tropics and the equator, everything curving right. And that's not what happens. It actually, the equator is straight, the other line curves to the right, and the one in the south curves to the left, which is what a globe calls for. So I believe that is it. All right, and then we did all these. We did a rant. We did a Dirtball of the week. If you could head over to Arctic Reflections and just say hi to him, and that he owes me $500. And yeah, Dirtballs don't pay up on bets. Was the trip fake? We did all that. What's your final conclusion? My conclusion is I remain in my place of no longer calling myself a flat earther, because the sphere definitely describes the sky perfectly. For the most part, I don't want to say perfectly, very, 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 very close. Whereas the flat earth is nowhere near. We're using suns magically appearing out of nothing. And then we've got people proclaiming that the flat earth actually predicted the 24-hour sun, and people believe him. I have people coming to me saying, no, Jaron, the flat earth predicted it. Every flat earth model predicted it. I've now heard Dustin Nemo say it. So that's disgusting. What it's basically saying is that flat earth will just repeat anything. It doesn't even need to have basis in reality. If it's pushing the flat earth, then the flat earthers all accept that. And just so you know, that's not a truther. That's the opposite. So don't do that. All right. Much love to you guys. I will talk to you soon. Reach out if you need me. I do love everybody. And I remind you to listen to my words when I go down to Antarctica and tell you that the sun circles down there. It certainly does. No doubt about it. Till next time, this has been Jeranism. Much love. Peace.
F you to the stress, to the grind, F you to the haters. Every time, F you to the drama, to the hype, F you to the mainstream, pushing lies. Unplugged from the matrix, it's Friday night. Unplugged with Mr. Honest and sometimes right. F you to the left, to the right, and F you to the elite parasite. F you to the noise, F you to the fakes, F you to all you weak snowflakes. Friday unplugged, unfiltered and real. Are you offended? How you feel? F you to the sleep, F you to the woke, to the trolls in the chat, you're an effing joke. F you to the sleep, F you to the woke, to the trolls in the chat, you're an effing joke. This ain't a trap house, but your mind's getting drugged. Top of Jeranism, Friday unplugged. This ain't a trap house, but your mind's getting drugged. Top of Jeranism, Friday unplugged.